No, I'm sorry. I'm turning off the video.
Okay.
I'm turning off. But are the participants muted? Wait, continue without audio. No, I don't want to continue. Mute all muted.
No, do not allow participants to unmute themselves.
Yeah.
That's how we got into trouble last time.
That's true. No, and then we can just
We'll
unmute them when
unmute
we, yeah.
Mhm. So right now, Rosanna, can you hear us and see us? You can just raise your little hand thingy because you're muted. Oh,
Yay.
excellent. Yay,
Awesome.
Rosanna. Thank you, girl.
Can you unmute yourself? This is
Yeah.
a trick
This
question.
is a trick. Yeah, see if you can do it.
Oh, you
Oh,
can.
no.
Interesting. I
Why
thought we
did
just
that-
opted out of that.
Thought we did too. Wait, I thought we, you know,
See if you
you,
could-
oh,
Yeah. Okay, allow participants to unmute. So unclick
Oh.
this. That's why. Okay. Mute all current and new participants. Yes.
okay, try it again, Rosanna.
Okay.
Does that mean you could not do it?
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Sorry to
thank
have to
you,
do
thank
that,
you.
and thank you for the answer.
Now we feel like we're in control.
Yeah,
More so than,
more so. There gets to be video, but we'll handle
well, yeah, because then what I seem to think is when you get to hear, it, you can delete them or something.
that. Yep.
Okay.
It's, yeah, when you did that, and then.
We'll go to other than that.
Mhm.
Hi, Andrew.
Yeah, you.
Okay, that's good.
Good evening, everyone.
There's Julie
Julie's in.
coming in.
Julie.
Hi there.
Hi, Julie. Just so you know, we've muted all participants, so if you need to say or participate, I think I can
not
unmute
started.
you.
Let's see if we can unmute. Julie.
That's what I'm trying to do. Can you unmute yourself, Julie?
Now I can. Thank you.
Good. Okay, so you are good, but Rosanna's still out, plus anyone else who tries to join, they're gonna be hopefully muted in the beginning. All right. We're trying very hard. Thank you, thank you. Everybody got your little V thingies?
Yeah.
Okay, so just before we get started, since oh, it's actually about time.
Mhm. Now it's not.
Now it's time. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. So I'm calling to order the town board meeting of August 15th, 2024, 7 PM. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, there were a few additions to the minutes that are on the back page.
Addition to the minutes or agenda?
The agenda, there we
Thank you,
go.
okay.
Alrighty, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna want to move the order around so that folks who are not here right, will be able to go first. Other than that, do you have approval of the agenda?
Okay, so the last one
The one that's right.
oh, a paper one. Thank you. Fabulous. Okay. Yes, so moved. Second.
Okay. Any discussion about the agenda?
Just, number 15,
What's the title?
that it's different from this sheet.
Discussion of Springtown Bridge. Number 15 is discussion of Springtown Bridge.
I
Oh, this
don't-
is about the.
Yeah.
I
This is
think the
item
one
number- why
on
is
our
this number?
town website is not this. So anybody looking at our town
Well, this one
website,
reads, about supplies. Auctioning of supplies.
Right, that's.
And this is
that's
what
our-
added.
It was added, and I'm gonna move it up anyway.
Oh, it should be a different number.
It just needs to be another
Okay,
one.
got it.
Okay, anything else? Okay, that's good. It's fine if you want to sit there. Julie, did you have anything?
Nope.
Can we vote all in favor for approving the agenda?
aye.
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 Any announcements today?
I thought I'd make a quick announcement if you're able to hear me.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to just remind residents that we have two ways that they can compost food waste in a community compost, both at the community center parking lot and also at the transfer station, at next to the town's transfer station. And I just want to encourage that and let folks know that if you've got those big watermelon rinds from summertime, cantaloupes, whatever, it's a great way to reduce the strain on our planet that the waste is contributing. Thank you.
Yes, and I'll just, a slight addendum to that, the compost bins at the community center got a little out of balance. So they're being worked on, so currently bin number 1, where you add compost, is closed until maybe next week. So if anybody rushes over there this weekend, maybe hang on for a few more days.
I did talk to Mike today and he didn't mention that, but it's that's good to know.
Yeah,
Mike,
and I know-
who runs it at the transfer station.
Right. Essie, did you have something?
Just one other announcement, that Conversations with the Police is
Huh?
August 20th at Peace Park, 4 p.m.
I can,
And
August
do we know
20th
when the next police, commission meeting, taking place?
on its normal day.
Second Tuesday in September, which is
The 5th, the Labor Day is like really early, so I think it's all
the
the
10th,
Yeah.
September 10th. Next police commission meeting,
Okay, and conversation with the police is August
August
20th.
20th.
And what
yes.
time of day?
4 p.m. Peace Park.
Okay, any other announcements?
Yes.
Okay.
The Village of New Paltz has organized a healing circle, and they will be having the community come together to discuss issues that have affected people in the town of New Paltz over the Middle East crisis. By the end of the meeting, I'll look up on my phone the exact day and time.
think we
Um,
might have.
Unless you have it there.
I will look for it.
Yeah.
It's in September. I
It's in
believe.
Right.
So we have time, but, I will find it, because, that's an important
Keeping
event.
in mind, this is our last meeting in August, even though it seems early because we had one on the very
Right.
first. So our next meeting will be on September, no, not 11th. 5th, I think, September 5th. Okay. Okay,
Yes,
any,
the
any other announcements?
Regarding the announcement made, if anyone has any questions about it, they can actually call me at home.
Okay,
My number is 255-9652, 255-9652.
okay, Edgar. Very good. All right, any other now? Okay, very good. Okay, public input. Is there anyone here for public input? Very quiet tonight.
We do have, some letters from the public
So,
about the pipeline. I don't know
Right.
if those would be read now or
so I
later.
would like to discuss that. So if there's no other public input, yes, we did receive 4 letters about the Iroquois pipeline.
Mhm.
In the past, there's been, back and forth about should they be read, or that they've been sent into the board and the board has seen them or whatever. So I would like to get this board's, thoughts on that.
Right now?
Yeah, right now, we're
Okay.
discussing it.
Okay, well, I think that people send in letters as their form of public comment.
Mhm.
And, I think that at the very least, we should read them into the record. And I would also like to have them attached to our minutes.
Yeah, I think our public comment typically gets the people who sign up, their names are there, and then it's kind of a summarized what it
Mhm.
was, but yeah.
That's fair.
Okay, so I know the only thing I had heard in the past about reading them was that, they'd be read without, any personal emphasis, so in other words, read very calmly, without facial expressions or anything like that, to indicate any bias by the board, as they're being read, because it's our chance to hear from the public, but not to comment in any way. We don't comment on the public. So, okay, so what does everybody else feel about it?
So I agree with both of you. I feel that it makes our meetings and our public comments more accessible when we allow people to send them in. And so I do think we should read them. And an idea that just came to me about us, particularly board members, not adding any emphasis or putting our fingers on the scale or swaying or any of those things, that maybe we can ask our young people who are needing participation in government credit or anything like that to be the ones to read the comments.
Okay, that's a good idea. Unfortunately, none of them are here.
Not today, but
And
we can
have-
invite them.
We can invite,
And
yeah.
Okay, Julie is having trouble unmuting.
Well, we didn't mute you, darling.
Uh, let's see.
Try it again.
There we go.
Okay,
Well, I am in the habit of muting so that
Ah.
any noises on my end don't, you know,
Okay.
come
Thank you.
The dog-
through.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's okay. Just make sure you raise your hand or something so we know. Yeah, it's hard to
I
see
think
it.
that maybe I won't unmute because I don't want that to happen again.
Well, we do
I
want you
won't
to be
mute. Say.
Yeah, we
Oh.
want your input. So do you have anything to say about the reading of the letters?
Because this has come up before when I've been on the board, and there have been times when it would have taken hours, to do that. So I think we need to make let it be that there's times when we can afford to do that time-wise, and other times that we acknowledge, but we don't read every letter.
I think that makes it difficult, because how do we choose which letters to read? And when people come in for public comment and there's lots of people, we let them go, and sometimes it does take hours. So I feel like we're gonna have to either decide to let everybody or not do it at
Well,
all.
I think on any given day, though, it would be either all or none. That's what.
oh,
So if there's an issue that has a huge amount of comments, then we don't read any. But if there's an issue that has, a reasonable number, then we can do that.
Is there a method by which we can post them?
they have in the past attached them to the minutes. But I
Even
think
if we don't,
any,
but if we don't read them, are they in them, they shouldn't really be. part
no,
of the
they're
minutes.
just synopsized.
Yeah, I'm just,
Well, that's another thing I'm wondering, is if we had like 100 of them here and we'd all looked at them ahead of time, but we maybe put them into at least pro and con, or,
Oh, yeah, we
you
could
know,
say we
some
had this
topic
many
and say
pro.
this many were, you know, something
Sure.
like that.
I mean, when I was out there and not here,
Mhm.
and there was a big issue, you know, I would ask 25 people to sign the letter.
Right.
And I would read one letter and then I would read the names of the people
Yeah.
because, you know,
Yeah.
it is, it can be a big, amount of time. But, I think, and also I've learned a lot from public
Sometimes
comment.
you do.
You know, people out there bring up, perspectives on things that we need to consider. So,
Well, and I think that's a good thing, that when we're reading them, we say, oh, and here's a particular point that we haven't heard before, that, you know, if it's very
well, that's
repetitive.
putting our finger on the scale in a way. I just think we should read them in a monotone and, you know,
We
if
can do
people take the time and trouble to send us a letter, I think we should read it.
Can we add a condition that the letter be limited to a reading of 3 minutes?
Sure,
Yeah, obviously that.
sure.
All right, well, you know what? Let's try it and see what happens.
So we
Okay.
will post that information then?
I think it'll be in our minutes, you know, we'll
Okay.
just start doing it.
Okay.
So,
Good.
okay, guess what?
Back to the community circle. The date is September 16th, 7 o'clock, Village Hall.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, and I think you need to register because it's limited, kind of, they
Yes.
can't handle a
So
large.
people can contact trustees Donna Weisberg at her Village of New Paltz address. So they are limited.
Yeah, why not? Okay, thank you for that. Okay, back to public input. We have 4 letters. We have 4 board members here.
Okay,
So everybody reads one, but remember,
no drama.
no drama.
Very expressive.
Which
It's gonna be.
area, should I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure, okay. This is from Dawn Winchester. Hello. I am writing to support the passage of the resolution opposing the expansion of the Iroquois pipeline that is before the town board this Thursday. The resolution details the reasons very well, so I won't repeat them here. Suffice to say, we need to have more positive actions on our energy and climate policies, as the future will be quite dire if we don't. Thank you, Dawn Winchester.
All right, I have one from Joy Dryer, Dear Town Board. On this Thursday's Town Board agenda, you will discuss the resolution to oppose expanding the Iroquois pipeline. I'm writing to urge you to pass this sensible resolution. Thank you.
I have from Amy Clever. I'm writing as a New Paltz resident to express my support of the resolution on the agenda tonight, opposing the expansion of the Iroquois pipeline expansion. Thank you, Amy Clever, New Paltz resident.
Mine reads, hi, this is to strongly urge the town board to approve the resolution in opposition to expansion of the Iroquois pipeline. Building the compressors will add a hugely dangerous component to our infrastructure while continuing to expand fossil fuel use, the exact opposite of what needs to be happening. The opposition to expanding the pipeline's capacity is widespread. New Paltz should add its voice to persuade Governor Hochul to sign state legislation canceling the project. Thank you, Tom Jello.
All right, and we will get to that resolution on the agenda when it
Okay,
gets to that point.
so that's it for public comment.
Yeah, is there
Mhm.
anyone else for public comment? I don't see anyone here.
Mhm.
I don't see anyone online. Okay, very good.
Mhm.
Okay, number 1 item, consent agenda. It's all of 1, approving the minutes from our most recent meeting, which we also had some village participation,
Mhm.
although it wasn't really a joint meeting. Do I have a motion to accept and approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
I second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. All right, here's where we're next gonna do the police chief report. And Chief Matt Sutton, would you, you can sit right there, man, if you like.
I'm not seeing, you know.
It's on the agenda.
Okay, so this is the July 2024 monthly report for the police department. In the month of July, the Police Department handled 1,272 calls for service. We walked 118 foot patrols, made 46 arrests, and issued 144 traffic summons. That's all
How
in
many,
the month
how
of
many
July.
you were? I'm sorry.
46 arrests,
46, thank you.
144 traffic summons, and 118 foot patrols.
Okay, thank you.
We received 5 commendations from the public. First one was for Detective Sergeant Calvin Halstead. Member of the public sent a letter in thanking him for his kindness while handling an unattended death investigation. Next one was for Officer Kaylin Marsh. A member of the public thanked her for a quick response for a burglary alarm at their house. The third one was also for Officer Marsh, thanking her for her handling of a welfare check on an elderly male resident. Fourth one is for Officer Antonio Fazio, who was thanked for handling a welfare check for a subject that didn't show up for an appointment. Also, Fazio was able to locate that subject and make sure there was no harm done. And the last one is for Officer Claude, who received a letter thanking her for her kindness in handling a citizen that lost their license plate off the front of their car.
So welfare check is not the thing you take to the bank. It's.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Welfare check is just if someone calls the police department or comes in and
Go
asks
see
us,
if they're
say, I
okay.
haven't heard from my neighbor, or I had a, dinner date with a friend of mine and they didn't show up. Just asking us to try and track them down and make sure that they're okay,
Lovely,
check their welfare.
thank you.
We didn't have any on-duty injuries for the month of July. We had one change in personnel, which was the hiring of full-time Officer Antonio Stenta. He is the officer that transferred from Westchester County recently. He started with us and is currently field training. We finally received our new 354, our first electric vehicle, 2023 Mustang Mach-E, all-electric vehicle. I'll go over our training report for the month of July. This basically just covers all of the training that's done from all of our members, including myself. So for July 1st through the 3rd, Officers Rosales, Cabrera, and Detective Milton attended a criminal debriefing training, which was held in Dutchess County. On July 5th and 11th, Sergeant Judge instructed firearms training at the Police Academy. July 22nd through the 26th, Officer Yasmin Cabrera attended child forensic interviewing training. On July 25th, Officer Tiffany Claude attended dive training. That's part of the regular dive training for the Ulster County Dive and In-Water Rescue Team that she's a part of. On July 28th, Sergeant Judge again instructed, this time at the New Paltz Police Department range, instructed firearms with officers here at the PD. On July 29th, Sergeant Judge again instructed at the range with Officer Stenta. On the same day, the 29th, Sergeant James attended USERT training, which USERT stands for the Ulster County Emergency Response Team, that Sergeant James is a member of. A total of 9 days in the month of July, Officer Butler instructed at the Police Academy. A total of 72 hours. That was various instruction from firearms instruction, defensive tactics instruction, reality-based training. That was all part of the phase 2 portion of Police Academy.
And who is that?
Officer Butler, retired lieutenant, now part-time officer. Scott
Okay,
Butler.
okay.
And also in that same type of training, Officer Linnea Dorsey attended the second phase of Police Academy for 14 days. And she received the instruction that Officer Butler was getting.
Is she close to finishing?
She is done. She graduated Police Academy and she's field training. She's currently working the shift right now, the 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. shift.
Oh, really?
Events for the month of July, we held a community Narcan training at the New Paltz Open Air Market. That was on July 21st. On July 26th, we held our conversations with the police at 10 a.m. in Peace Park. And then July 30th through August 4th was the Ulster County Fair, which we had members signed to both for traffic posts and just for patrolling the fair and making a presence. And last thing I had, so we already covered, the next conversation with the police is Tuesday, August 20th at 4 p.m.
Okay.
You forgot to mention the National Night Out.
Well, yes, and we had our national night, out, but that was in August, so that's
Oh,
why I
that's,
didn't include
okay, we haven't
that.
gotten
Next-
August yet. Oh, okay.
I'll cover it next month.
Oh,
But
okay.
that's, so far, I've gotten a lot of great feedback from the community and hopefully everyone enjoyed it as much
It
as
was a
I
great
did and my
event.
members did, and we plan on doing it every year.
Great.
So-
Repeat the conversations again, August.
It's Tuesday, August 20th at 4 p.m.
Peace Park.
Peace Park.
And
Yes.
so I've asked the chief to give us this, debrief every month at our first meeting of the month,
Great.
so.
With the exception of, just to throw out there, like this month, it was,
Oh, because.
your meeting was the first of the month,
Yeah.
so we don't have time to compile the stats and stuff.
Will the
so-
fifth be okay, because there's Labor Day?
It should
in there.
be, yeah, it should be.
Well, let us
Usually,
know.
it's just a matter of, how best me and Teresa, our clerk, can get the stats compiled, for you,
Right.
but the fifth shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, I think it's really important for everybody to know and hear all the things that our police department is doing for us. Okay, very good.
Thank
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 you,
you.
thank
My
you,
pleasure.
Chief.
Thank, right,
Okay,
chief?
so I was gonna put a few other things here, but since Ted is here, let's move up the item which is called discussion of Springtown Bridge.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
have a good night.
Oh, no, we left you. Thank you. Oh, next door. Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, they're still on duty.
Listen, I'm sorry, come
Come
on
on
up. Would you like to join?
wanna
us
sit?
with us?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Everybody knows Ted, right?
Hi,
Ted
Ted.
Gordito, Ted?
I don't think so. Ted.
Nice to meet you. Ted.
The Ted's with Walden Engineering has been working on many projects with the town and village for
Okay.
many years. And so let me just introduce what's happening here. So does everybody know Springtown Bridge?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
part of the Empire State Trail, it crosses the Wallkill,
Mhm.
gets a lot of use by a lot of folks. And the other day, Ted and I went with Christy DeBoer, who's Wallkill Valley Land Trust, and Chris Marks, our highways superintendent, who is also responsible for town bridges. We went to take a look at it because, it's wooden planking. It's a very solidly built metal structure, but there's also a lot of wood. And wood, gets old and wet and, all kinds of things happen to it. So we really wanted to take a good look at whether there were places that maybe needed more immediate attention than not. We had not gotten a DOT grant to do a major overhaul, almost $2 million worth, and unfortunately, we were not selected for that. So we did not want to just not do anything with the bridge, because right now we feel like it could use some attention.
Mhm.
And so what we asked Ted and his firm to do was to do a professional service, is to take a look at this and put together a proposal for doing a full review and analysis of the state of the bridge and what might need the most immediate attention, repair, replacement, or whatever, of pretty much the wooden outfit, right? Did I get it? Okay.
Yeah, we're characterizing the work as early action. As Supervisor indicates, the bridge for quite some time has been identified as needing overall to the, what we call the tray portions.
That I would call the deck.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
wooden.
Very good. You may remember, several years ago, in response to either Sandy or Irene, the, western portion of the bridge, that isn't actually over the Wallkill, but over the lowlands until it arrives to Springtown Road, was, placed as part of the portion spans over the bridge, or over the Wallkill itself, weren't part of that project. Some of the original assessment work and identifying what the needs were still come from that 2016 and 17 time. What has been identified is some of the treading surfaces on the edges, along the middle parts, that I think most everyone's opinion so far probably can't wait until the 2 million or more and be identified, procured, and put in place. That's why we characterize this first work as early action. The town has identified dollars that have been set aside. Supervisor will talk more about those, but within those, we can put together design and bidding package that can address those early action, higher priority items to ensure that the bridge can remain safe and available for the town's users for the time being.
Okay, so, the funding, okay, so the board members we got a really exciting email from, our county executive, Jen Metzger, that because the sales tax, for last year had hit a certain level, that then triggered a give back of some excess amounts. that the town of New Paltz was getting 79,000 and some amounts of money. And that was very exciting. And she said, I'm sure you have projects that you could use this for. And then the bridge came to mind. Now, since then, I've been advised by finance that in fact, that money, because it was generated by sales tax, has to go into the A fund. And this would be not just a B fund, it's not a B fund project because everyone uses the bridge, but it is a highway department project, so it has to come out of the highway department. So we'll still have to work on that, but it's something that needs to be done. It's not like this is, we just, oh, we got some money, so let's throw it at the bridge. No, no, the bridge needs work. I was excited because I thought, this would be so easy, but in fact, we do need to find out just what it's gonna take to make sure it's good and solid for the next, couple of years anyway. So Ted has got a proposal that none of y'all have seen. In fact, I just saw it really shortly, but I think basically what you're proposing is around $10,000 to do this evaluation and then identify exactly what, where needs to be done with what, about how much materials and things like that.
I characterize it a little bit differently, and the
Okay.
amount is 15,000. It would allow us to do the design services, to actually put together a set of engineered drawings for the portions that would need to be addressed. We have a lot of materials available to us from the previous grant applications. Also, the work that was done originally several years ago, those, a lot of those drawings will still help us out. So cost down. We'll prepare a list of the areas, we'll identify what areas need to be removed, replaced, how, and then we'll also proceed through the procurement process, depending on the estimated cost, either through bid or proposal process, but contractors in the open market propose cost for that, and then advise the town as to which of the proposals that's received is both responsible and responsible. Proposal will make a recommendation as to the contract should be used. We've stopped it at that. Once we've gotten to that point, either the highway department, town, or no more to proceed through inspection, construction management. It's not necessary that those services be secured now, especially as we develop the design, but that allows us to move forward with the amount that's earmarked or earmarked. but,
It ain't anymore. There's no
Anticipated
more
to be
ears. The ears
necessary
are
to
not-
address the early.
So-
We can also pull that back
Yeah.
for that amount.
Yeah,
So the document, the proposal that you're going to prepare, is that something that we can use to, I'm just trying to refresh my memory. So this trail is part of the Empire State Trail. It's part of the Greenway Trail System. It's part of the Ulster County transportation system, because I know Ulster County came down and was looking at it during the original Empire State Trail designation. So, it just feels like there should be some places that we can go to ask for assistance in the repair that ultimately needs to be done. Is the thing that you're going to prepare something that we could submit to the Greenway or to State Parks, who now manages the Empire State Trail? Will that be enough of an estimate and a detail so that we can say, this is how much the final improvement is going to cost
so the final improvement is already in a grant application.
that got denied?
Right, but that information is there, that hasn't changed. This is just more of a quick identification of the most problematic wooden surface parts
Okay,
that look like, they could potentially be a tripping or, whatever.
Okay.
We just want to take care of that right now. But that other one's still there. And that one, we would like to resubmit wherever grants are, that would cover that scope of work
Okay.
and that amount of money for sure.
and who did we submit that to and who turned us
So-
down?
Okay, so the DOT had when you send it in, you got a chance to go to 3 different places. One was the carbon reduction program, which first of all, didn't have the most money, and this one didn't really quite fit because you wasn't taking cars off the street or doing something like that. Then there was something called CMAC, which stood for something else, I forget what, and then there was TAP, right?
Combustion or
Something, yeah.
you were told me before the.
I'm sorry, yeah. So it was kind of a good fit for either one of those, but unfortunately, it wasn't competitive for several reasons that we did do a debrief on. So we now kind of have one of the things they wanted, again, it's still like, well, how are people using it to commute on it? You know, how do they get from where on one side to the other to school or to, and it's not, it can
So-
be used that way, but it's
So
mostly being
is
used for
that-
recreation, yeah.
Is that the best path? I mean, it is a really critical part of the Empire State Trail. So I don't know who has the most experience in
Well, what we
grant
got
writing.
told by Christie from Walker Valley Land Trust is the Empire State Trail is there's no money, there's no agency or government Empire State Trail guru owners or whatever. So that in and of itself, even though we feel very strongly about it, that it needs to be respected and taken care of, doesn't actually fit anywhere particular.
But Empire State Trail is managed by the Office of State and Historic Preservation and Parks. I mean, that they're under their umbrella. Anyway, we don't have to spend all of our time here tonight, but that's a big agency that should be helping us out.
So
with
that'd be
this.
good, and we can look,
Right.
because obviously we need to be looking toward the future and saying,
Right.
where can we turn now?
Yeah.
But for now, for immediately, like
Okay.
really soon, what we want to do
Okay.
is take care of like any little tripping hazards or anything like that. So, so we're
If
gonna,
I could,
yeah.
there's two short, relevant, points, I think, to the question you were asking. One of them is, it will provide us, we'll say, an opportunity to calibrate with the marketplace. The repairs that we go out for is not a small amount. It'll give us an idea, it'll allow us to calibrate, use proportions to the overall work that would be necessary. There'll be some value there. Also, we have seen in several other type programs, it demonstrates a readiness for sea. Not only is the community wanting this project, but they are moving forward on some of it. They're bringing skin in the game. It'll allow us to
Yeah.
demonstrate that, hey, we have taken the first couple of steps necessary, but we need other assistance. So I think it would lend itself to those two aspects.
The Hudson River Ramble is coming up, and our rail trail has always been an integral part of that, and it could get a ton of traffic. So I wonder,
what date is that? Because
Hudson River Valley Ramble is this year.
no dates. Come on, people.
Occur on August 31st and every day in September.
Well, we're gonna be working on this. There is gonna be some time, once Ted has done his evaluation. And we assume that, I mean, obviously, the amount of work we think is gonna need to be done, we'll have to go out for bid. But once we get a contract, we want to then go shut it down, fix it up, and then open it back up again. But we're gonna have to just, do that.
Websites are not all there.
No, that one's.
Here's the Ramble, folks.
Okay, it's right there along the river.
Yeah, so anyway, our rail trail is usually a big draw for that thing, so
Oh,
we just need to
yeah, when
be
we were
aware.
just standing there looking at everything and talking by many people, just
Yeah.
a lot of views. And this
Yeah.
was on a Tuesday afternoon or something.
Yeah,
It was not a weekend or anything.
Yeah.
But we have to take care of it. And so we need to do that. So, all I can say is we can talk about it some more, about the actual details. Oh, Edgar. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'd like to make a comment and then kind of a question. So I went online and I found this local bridges by the number from the state controller's office.
Is this a picture of our bridge? On it?
Looks like an
Oh, it looks like it.
Our bridge on Main Street is a different application, but not this one.
No, I thought that was this one.
So what, in reading this, the state needs $27 billion in repairs of bridges. So I say that so everybody understands that this is not a particular issue to New Paltz.
Yeah.
It's a statewide issue, a countywide issue. And I hope that our legislators work in that area to try and fund that. The report also points out that 12% of local bridges are structurally deficient and 20% of them are functionally obsolete. And since tonight we're looking at a policy about, highway, I imagine this kind of falls into that policy, whether, that we need to be notified if there are issues, because that affects whether we're liable or not. And that's something that we'll look at later on. So the question for you is, I'm wondering, besides looking at the decking, because this bridge is really a railroad bridge, or I don't know, must be 100 years old, I would think.
Carmine
and-
Roberta?
No, he's
Oh,
talking
oh,
about.
So I would think for pedestrian use, it's probably okay, but I'm wondering, will we get an assessment about whether this bridge is structurally deficient, or that it, in a sense, it's functionally obsolete, probably as a railroad bridge, but then as a pedestrian kind of bridge?
I think it's an important question, and that's the scope of the work that we were doing initially. This would not be a full inspection from top to bottom, piers, scuba divers, underneath, analysis, but that is called. It's the first step of the overall large thorough inspection. Then a preparation of design documents, again, for the overall solution. Bidding it, $2 million project as far and wide as contractors could be sought after. And then full construction season probably takes at least 6 months to 9 months for the large. For this early action, it's not intended to be a thorough inspection, but a full thorough inspection of the things that concern us. That's the tread service. Not there's highway superintendent, parks is also not there. There are some spots that are concerned in the short term that need to be addressed as early action.
This is important to me, because I'm very much concerned about facilities and about taking care of problems up front and not tearing down and just maintaining. And I believe that our board, over a period of time, needs to look at all our facilities and see where we stand, and sort of have I think we'll have some kind of facilities plan and a national plan also long term. I think that's kind of the work that we need to be doing also.
Yeah, well, the state of New York is piloting some robust asset management programs in which we look at highways, the streetlights, the sanitary sewer works in groups. We do a thorough inventory, condition assessment, use a scoring mechanism for pricing work, replacement work, in the budgets that are necessary. Okay. State of New York is one of the leaders. We're involved in some of those projects in other areas. That same concept, asset management. So,
Thank you for that information.
Okay, very good. So Chris has joined us. We're just talking about the Springtown Bridge project, and Ted has worked out very recently a proposal about doing the work. So we'll be reviewing that and getting back to you. But I think what we want to be able to say at this meeting is that we will be obtaining professional services to do this initial analysis. So that we know what work exactly needs to be done to make sure that this bridge is usable in the near term. While we wait to do the bigger projects coming up, but to make sure that it's, it's sound and safe and can handle the normal pedestrian bicycle traffic and stuff like that. We're not gonna drive a train on it. We're probably not gonna drive an ambulance on it right now, but we wanna make sure that people can use it. But it may mean there will be some time when it has to be worked on, that people will have to, know that, and it'll be,
I've had to think of all that summary. What about the small bridge on Huguenot Street? Do we have any plans for that? And it's been mentioned, it's a small bridge that may need to be looked at.
is that the one over Trib 13? Is that one? So this is our bridge man.
We should do.
It's not really a bridge, it's two culvert pipes that were put in the 80s.
Okay,
The bridge authority has noted a yellow tag saying you have a deficiency, but it's not bad yet. And there's literally 3 to 4 rust marks in the pipe.
okay.
Through
It's a metal pipe then.
Correct, 8 gallon inch pipe. So that's where we put in for a bridge grant, which I'm very happy that we did not get.
Okay,
The town project, for me to do the job would be around $300,000. The bridge grant was over $1.25 million for the same.
yes.
Did speak to Amanda about this budgetary wise, that possibly budgeting a little bit every year, so we don't have to eat a big nut one year, 3 years, being able to, okay, here's 85, 90% of the money and then do it.
Which is financial planning that the state has.
So what we'd like to do, getting back to this bridge now, is understand that we would like to. Well, I think we'd like to set a limit of 12,000 on this one, to do this initial look at and have the approval where the 12,000 is coming from. Might have to come from highway, Chris, we'll talk about that. But because it's a bridge.
You know, I'm just thinking that, one of the big sales points of the rail trail
Mhm,
is that it generates so much tourism
Mhm.
and sales tax.
mhm.
So why can't we use some of that sales tax money?
So when our finance person is here, she could
Okay.
explain that, but I was told very clearly this afternoon that I
Alright.
couldn't, it has to go into the other fund, not the DB fund. And this is a bridge that comes under that, so.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Wait for public comment.
oh, it is,
You know that?
yes, we do,
Oh, okay.
if it's really him. Can't see
Oh.
him. What do you think?
Is it really?
Nope, he went away. Okay,
Right.
okay, yeah,
I
okay.
see the-
All right. So, what I need, I guess I have is to make a motion to approve the expenditure of up to $12,000 on this preliminary work.
Second.
Any more discussion?
Does this motion mean this company specifically?
Yes, because this is the professional service with the expertise. Edgar, any discussion?
Look, there is a proposal,
There will be a,
will be.
Right.
I just got the first draft. We just now said it's gonna be modified slightly, it'll come out. It's pretty much what he said. We're gonna look at everything and come up with
Okay, so
the,
that's the subject to what's in the proposal.
Yeah.
And what's the
Right.
concept we're agreeing to.
right. So that we can keep this moving, so that by the time we have our
Okay.
meeting on the 5th, we'll have something, hopefully we'll have something by then to tell us about what he's found, and then we'll see what we're up against and putting together an RFP to go out.
So how does the motion read?
I'm asking for a motion to approve the expenditure of up to $12,000 for professional services to do the preliminary assessment of the work that needs to be done.
I thought you made the motion, so I seconded it.
Okay.
but- Okay.
I motioned it again.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
I just have a question. Do you have an idea of how long your work, how long the bridge would have to be closed for your assessment?
So we'll,
Or if it has to be?
there, for the most part, most all of our station design work will be during the day without interfering with the use.
Okay.
There is possibility based on some of the things we saw that we might want to pull some boards, or something like that, kind of do some destructive testing. Very minor part, but it is possible based on what we saw a couple of days ago. If we did that, it'd be a matter of an hour or two, cones at both ends, do that work, put it back. And it's for, say, the design.
And you could let us know on the day you think you would be doing it, so we could sort of
So we
notice
could
that.
prepare people.
Mhm.
My only other question is about, you said 15,000, we're approving
There was
12.
a 12 and a 3, and so the 3 was preparing
Okay.
for the procurement, and we can do that
Right.
maybe.
It is, it's exactly what she said. The proposal is broken up into two parts. Remaining amount is the second part of our work. Seeking a contract. In a different way, or it can be talked about.
Okay, all right, so
Okay.
can we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Julie has turned into a fan. Julie, are you there, madam? Are you? Okay, I have 1, 2, 3 eyes. Julie? I lost you. Did we lose her? No?
No, she just turned on her camera, so she's there,
Okay,
but she might not be able to unmute, that's right.
I'm asking to unmute. No, it's not. unmute. Why is that? Huh. There. Why is this happening?
Oh, there, she's unmuted. Are you there? There
I,
you go.
I am here. Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can hear
So we had a motion, to, and a second.
Yeah.
Who this, so
I-
you would do,
I was listening, yes, and I would like to vote in favor. Aye.
okay. Okay, so the ayes have it. Rosanna, I hope you got that. So now that Chris is here, we're going to now do his part of it, which is a couple of things. It's actually the thing that was added to the agenda about
you,
the
Ted.
auction. Thank you, Ted. Thank you.
What item is that?
It was number 25. The item, the authorization to approve the bid results from auctioning. So would you,
It's the
you wanna,
extra page.
you wanna talk about it at all? Or do you want me to just read it?
We auctioned off some. One piece from the highway, one piece from buildings and grounds. One piece from the,
Police?
police department and one piece from town hall.
Okay, so these are the, I'll do, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we are asking for an authorization to approve the bid result. That of surplus equipment. The first one was a number one hook lift body from the highway department for $2,500. The proceeds to be put into the highway department equipment reserve funds. The next one is a number one Skag mower from the Building and Grounds Department for $3,100. Proceeds to be put into the Building and Grounds Department Equipment Reserve Fund. Next one is a number one flat deck trailer from the Police Department for $450. Proceeds to be put into an Equipment Reserve Fund for the Police Department. And then the last one was phone system in Town Hall. This is a box of old phones, 2 boxes, 3 boxes, for $2. Proceeds to go towards building a new town hall. We need to.
We
All
can
right.
donate it.
Do I have a motion for this authorization? You can say so moved if you want to say moved. But he can.
So just to be clear, what are we approving? We're
All of it.
approving
All of
the
these.
amount, we're
We're
approving the
approving to
fact that it
accept the
can.
bids.
Okay, got it. In those amounts
Yes,
and where we're putting the funds.
yes,
Second, or so moved.
Some discussion.
yes, discussion.
It's a tiny question. I used to operate farming equipment. It's Skag, is that like a bush hog or not more?
It's a zero turn lawnmower.
Oh, zero turn, got it, okay, thank you.
Thank you, because I didn't know what it was. All right, any more discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Julie? Do I have to unmute her again? It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
This is our new security.
I know, I'm sorry.
There we go.
Here
She's
we
in.
go. All right.
Aye. So
All right.
if I don't touch anything on my phone, I think I'll stay with you and I just, well, forgive me if there's rustling of anything, so.
okay,
Hustle, that's fine.
Just as long as, oh, fine, okay, very good, that took care of that one. The next one I was going to bring up, but, so our finance is not here, so I don't know if it's any need to bring it up, move it up in the agenda, because it's, it's all here, so. Okay, let's go back then to the regular part of the agenda. Karen Capobianco is requesting a refund of $239 for her 2024 Moriello Pool membership. I need a motion to approve this refund.
so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
Thank you. Request authorization to pay Merit Construction, Inc. their pay application number 10 in the amount of $106,257.50 for the Phase 3 backup water supply project. This is Water District number 5, the DEP project out on Plains Road that will be used to provide water during the time of shutdown of the aqueduct. Do you have a motion for this one? No motion?
So moved.
Okay, second, discussion?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So I'm very interested in facilities and I wish to get the approval of the board, for me to visit our facilities and become familiar with it because I'm voting on something that I have no idea about. When I was on school board, I actually went and visited the buildings, went into the attic of the middle school, things like that. So I'd like to get that permission over the course of, weeks, et cetera.
Right.
To become familiar with the, different facilities that we have.
I think
Great idea.
Chris would love to take you see sewer six, wouldn't you?
Just make a time and I'll take
Okay.
you through a tour of the
Can-
buildings.
Thank you for
Okay.
that.
Can we vote on this one now? On favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Number 5, authorization to issue an RFP for roof inspection repairs and replacement at the Police Justice Building. Actually, I'm going to take out the inspection part of it and ask that we do the same thing, engage professional services to do the inspection so that we know just what we're up against before we put out an RFP for repairs and replacement.
So we don't need RFPs for the professional.
No. Right,
So we're gonna get an inspection first,
yes,
okay,
yes,
and so we take that out of here,
take that part out.
okay?
So I'm asking two things. The first is to authorize the RFP for repair replacement if it turns out it's so needed.
Okay, so moved.
Second, any discussion about that one?
Is this the one that is, this does not come out of the town budget, it comes out of a possible grant of $150,000? I connected it? No,
You're connecting them, but not by money. They're not connected by money.
okay,
It's a separate project that has to do with building repairs, okay? But
And
I
there's
would
no
want-
grant. There's no grant related to this. This would come out of what budget? Something maybe
Right.
for next year?
It very possibly depending on what they find, and how dire it is. We know there's been a leak here in a storage area. It doesn't seem to be more widespread in that so far, which is good. Perhaps it's something that can just be repaired, but we would like to find out before we proceed with putting solar panels on the roof.
Right.
Okay, it is linked in that way.
so, okay, so what confused me is that our goal is to install sufficient rooftop solar panels, so you're looking at the condition of the roof first.
Right,
Okay, I got it then,
okay.
that's clear. then.
So this is for the RFP. We've had a discussion. Do we want to vote on it? Ready to vote? All in favor?
Is-
Okay.
For the inspection, aye.
Okay, no, this is
No,
for,
that was
this
for the
is for
RFP.
repair or replacement. I now would like
Okay.
to ask for authorization to hire professional services to do
I
the
see.
inspection. I don't have an amount right now. I'd have to go, I'm contacting a few roofing people about it.
Okay, so that part is not on the agenda, correct?
No, I'm adding it right now. I broke it up.
I'm just trying to follow it.
Okay, so I don't have any idea right now. I don't think the inspection's going to be, they're gonna get up on the roof and they're gonna see what they see and let us know.
Mhm.
So,
So do we want to
I'm in
say,
Go ahead, Julie.
go
I'm
ahead,
in favor of the, but maybe we, at the next meeting, actually approve the amount. Because right now we don't know what the amount is.
if you wanna,
For the inspection?
right,
well, let's say up to $10,000. I
But-
mean, I can't imagine it would be that much, but if Ted's thing.
But you're gonna get proposals.
no, for the professional services, I'm trying to find someone who will do it. Just doing an
Who'll do the
inspection.
inspection.
Right. I would say 12, let's just say 12.
Climb up on the roof, okay,
Well, and I'm hoping it doesn't cost that much.
okay.
All right.
So we'll prove amount up to $12,000 for an inspection of the roof on this building.
Okay.
We just put an amount on it. We just picked an
We're
amount.
just saying,
If
up
it's more
to
than that, I'll come
12,000.
back. I think that sounds really reasonable to me. Yeah.
That's not
okay.
high to me.
Just so you know, too, that in this structure, that was the only original part of the building that was never touched.
I know.
Thank you for that. I was gonna point that out, that roof was not replaced.
The roof,
when
right,
the-
right.
when the,
Right,
The
so
roof-
it's not new. It's
It's
like
not new. It's from 2008. It is a metal grommeted roof.
Mhm.
They typically could have a lifespan of 25 years or so. We're at 16, so,
And there's a
but
leak somewhere.
and there's a leak somewhere, so it may be though that there's a way that it can be repaired, so
Mhm.
we'll find out.
Right,
Okay.
which is why we need the inspection.
Right.
Figure it out.
Okay, so are we ready to vote on that part?
Yes.
Okay, can we, okay, take a
Aye.
vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I'm calling this 5.5. Thank you very much. All right, next one, authorization to approve Catherine Fuller's resignation from the Zoning Board of Appeals effective August 3rd, 2024. And she did send us a letter.
Mhm.
Hopefully,
Um,
everybody's read it.
So
Yeah,
moved,
so moved.
and we accept with regrets. I've watched Catherine at ZBA meetings, and she was a very conscientious participant, and we will miss her.
Mhm.
And we appreciate the time that she served. I mean, almost 5 years.
Yeah.
Is plenty long time.
Mhm.
Okay,
I appreciate that she states at the end of the letter, please reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm not sure if it's about this or about the work that she was doing.
She seems open, so that's.
yeah,
good.
that's great.
Mhm.
Okay, so motion to accept the
think I made
resignation?
the
You did?
motion.
Did we get a
Second.
second? Second. Any more discussion?
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. That takes us immediately to the next one, which is authorization to approve posting for a vacant seat on the zoning board of appeals. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, hopefully we can have this posted on our website tomorrow and maybe even in the paper, I don't know. We'll talk to Rosanna about that, just to get it out there widely.
Mhm.
Okay, very good.
And hopefully people will help us spread the word.
Right,
Mhm.
right. Okay, we can do this next one. Okay. Modified model local law. When this came up at the last meeting, we had heard from our insurance company, New York Manufacturers Insurance, something that we should have a law of notice of prior, defects. So that if there is anyone in the public or any of us or anybody sees a problem, that it be noticed in writing and that we have reasonable time to repair it. And that would help us, with liability, okay? Well, and so we had this draft law that you didn't see yet, but guess what? In the meantime, I sent the draft law to our attorney, Joe Moriello, and he said, we have one since 1986.
Oh,
That's a good deal.
Yes, however, it then turned out that it was slightly different language from what the NYMRI people wanted. And in fact, our law is, so there's two places where ours is more restrictive and then where it's less restrictive. So the model law wants you to say any damage to any highway, bridge, street, sidewalk, crosswalk, or culvert being defective, out of repair, safe and dangerous, obstructed or whatever. So our law just says highway, bridge, and culvert. So we leave out street, sidewalk, and crosswalk. So should we add it? But then our law also says, or any town property or property in a district. And their law doesn't include that.
Hmm.
So now, so I've sent it back to our
Yeah.
attorney to say, should we take their language, or is there a reason why we included any property, and so forth? And do we still want to? Because they're saying, well, that leaves you wide open to a tree or something. They're like, yeah, but we got a pool, we got parks, we got all these other things. And do we want to just restrict it to essentially paved things, highway, bridge, street, sidewalk, crosswalk, and culvert? That's what we're being advised. So right now, I don't think we're ready to do anything on this because this is all kind of late breaking.
Yeah.
So we will not be setting a
Okay.
public hearing
Okay.
or anything till we hear back from our attorney. So this is gonna come around again.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay,
Sounds good.
okay. So now let's see. Authorization to approve the tuition reimbursement for the New York Youth Program employee Sophie Brooks. And we have a letter from the Youth Program Manager, Jim Tinger.
Mhm.
As referenced in the town's personnel policy and mentioned in summer 2023 town board meeting that current employees will be grandfathered into the policy, I'm writing to once again request tuition reimbursement for Sophie Gross for fall 2024. Attached is documentation for the classes in the fall 2024 semester, as well as the costs associated with the class. And what it says is fall workforce development. And it's $720.
I did write to Jim.
That's wrong. I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
It's
Yes.
7,000, right?
Yeah. it's
Okay,
seven-
it was 7,200, but there's a credit for 720, which makes it $6,480.
Mhm.
Okay, that's that. Okay, so, okay, first, let's do the motion.
So moved.
Second, now discussion. Okay, go.
Okay, there is no description of courses,
That's the name, of it. That's all.
but there's no description. Okay, in the past, students, gave us a list of the courses they were taking,
Mhm.
and they were required to get a C+ or better, and to report those grades to us. And to commit to staying on as a town employee for anywhere from 1 to 3 years, and to be a full-time employee. So I don't know if Sophie fits any of those qualifications. And I mistakenly voted for this in January. It was my first meeting as a new town board member, and I was not aware that I was gonna be authorizing $21,000
Mhm.
for a single employee. If the board still feels that we need to honor that, I think that we need to have a very clear policy
Mhm.
starting in January.
Mhm.
That, and I don't know how that disappeared, but we needed
did
to see
discuss
a list of the courses. We needed to see how they were part of the professional advancement of that job,
Mhm.
and we needed to see the grades. And the employee needed to be full-time,
And I think there was a limit on the total amount too.
and there was a limit. I think it was $2,500. The other thing is, that they were required to go to a state college. Russell Sage is a private college. It's in Albany. I don't understand why this employee, if it's an online course.
Must be online. If
Um,
she's working
I
here,
mean,
is that not?
Well, I don't know. So for next year,
Here.
I think we need to stick with in-state tuition. If a student wishes to go to a private college like Russell Sage, they're certainly free to do that, and we will pay up to what the amount would have been
Mhm.
at the state school.
Okay, so here's the thing, you guys absolutely did
Yes, we
put a
did.
very clear policy together at some New York meeting. You then turned around and waived it, not once, but twice, not only for the spring semester, but for the summer and now for the fall. So
Mhm.
we've got this precedent that the student has been working under this. Okay, someone call,
Stand up.
stand up.
Thank you.
Thank you. So it's true, it's unfortunate because you were new in this, when the one came up for the summer, I was new, it's like, oh yeah. So here we are, we've done it, and I don't think at this point in time, with the semester just starting, it's gonna be very easy to do anything differently, but absolutely,
So
we go back and fix it again.
we have had this same conversation every time we get this request from Sophie. And we grandfathered her in.
Mhm.
There were others, and we've decided already that we're going to change the policy and make it clear, and we continue to have this same discussion, but I feel like at this point, we've already said we were gonna do it. We do need to honor it. We're not gonna do it the same way again. We're gonna be very clear in our policy, which is what we said, I believe, a year ago. But we allowed her in because she had already been admitted into this program and one of our employees, and we didn't feel like it was fair to have let her start this program under the impression that we would be reimbursing and then take it away when she's already in the program, invested in the program,
Mhm.
expecting us to pay. So I agree with you all that we absolutely need to have clear policies that need to be more stringent and specific, with specific requirements. But I don't think it's fair for us to continue to drag this young lady through this every time publicly when we've already decided this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna pay for her and continue this and finish this with her, and then we will do the policy different going forward.
My understanding is that This is her next to last semester.
Correct.
Spring
Same
semester.
conversation we had last time we got this
Right.
I have
request.
two questions. One, what is our procedure in setting up a policy? Do we set up a subcommittee or?
We do it at Rio, so we can talk about it. We can
Right,
do
but-
it at Rio.
But we need to
Well, we
do
can
it
start.
before reorg. It
Yeah,
has to be
yeah,
ready
yeah.
by it'll be our
Reorg
first
will be in
meeting,
January.
Right.
first meeting in
So that's
January.
things we have to prepare for.
But
Yes.
we need to have a good look at our
So
personnel
then we need to have a
policy.
policy for that.
Yes.
Right,
Okay, and do we know we have other customers waiting to be
No,
considered?
you know what? No, there's nobody who's already in a program. She's the
Correct.
only one.
Right, which is why she was.
There are other people who are taking courses and training in the police department. Their union contract covers it much more specifically.
Yes.
This one was so wide open, it was
Mhm.
like
Sure.
crazy stuff. But now, okay, so now.
We're clear that
things are
we will take care of it. And it doesn't mean that we won't wait until reorg to come together with some real comprehensive,
But
like
that's
we said,
an
requirements, which is
adopt-
really
yeah.
important, yeah.
taken care of. Okay, so,
Before you move to the next item.
no, we haven't voted.
I know, but I just want to say it now,
I think I made a
that's a
motion.
question I'm gonna raise, but we can wait, not about this.
Okay,
Okay.
so we ready to take a vote?
Yes,
All in favor?
aye.
aye,
Aye.
Okay. All right, so the next item would be, okay, let's come back to the LaBerge one, so we don't get, there's something we can mark pretty quickly, so let's do that, okay?
I think the LaBerge is pretty
Which
good.
item
No,
are you at now?
I'm skipping 11 to
11?
go to 12, 13 really
So
quickly.
you're skipping 11.
I'll come back to it.
Okay.
Approval of the RFP for the solar system installation on the Police Justice Court building. Do I have a motion?
Oh, the previous one was about roof repairs.
This is for the solar.
That's the one with the, a grant of $150.
Right, if we have a motion approval, we can just.
So moved.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion.
So this is the project with a grant, those, we don't pay for it out of our budget, but there's a grant that will cover this up to
The
$150,000.
grant will not cover the whole amount, but the RFP, we
to.
will find out how much. I've got a general idea.
Mm-hmm.
The grants start. This project will also be eligible for what's called the IRA direct payment from the federal government of 30% of the total.
Okay,
I've also applied for additional Ulster County grant for
okay,
some more. So the town will still have to, well, first of all, the town has to put up the money up front because you
Right.
have to get reimbursed and then, go for all this stuff. But potentially we could get this entire project of perhaps
Mhm.
$400,000 done for maybe no more than 60,000.
okay.
And
Thank you.
the design is meant to be net zero over the course of a year.
Mhm.
So no more electricity for this building, which is over 21,000 a year for electricity.
Mm.
Right, operating 24 hours.
24/7 and it's an all electric building, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so any more
Wonderful.
discussion? Okay. All in favor? No, was
Aye.
that discussion? Okay, we're ready to go?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Okay, this one ought to be fairly quick, I think. The discussion of the new Paltz video conferencing policy. There is a law that says that it is, even though the state said no more video conferencing after COVID, they said, but local communities can pass laws to do it. And so we passed a really short little like 4-section thing about video conferencing, remote participation. And it said, in compliance with the video conferencing policy, which I finally found, and it's about 3 pages long, it's in here, which in fact was signed off. Rosanna has the date was June of 2022 or something like that. So everything about it's what we've been doing, that people can participate remotely, particularly when they notify upfront and there's a public place they can be where the public could also be there.
You're talking about members, not, when you say people, you
I'm
mean,
thinking board members.
right,
Board members, right.
right.
And not just our board, it applies to all the town. No, it applies to all the town entity groups, like, so the planning board, the zoning board,
Oh,
everything like that. The ENCB, anyone else who is required to hold open meetings,
Mhm.
they've been told they couldn't video conference anymore. The law covers all of those, public entities, I think it's called.
Mhm.
It also allows for emergency when somebody's like all of a sudden finds out they're sick and can't come that day, they can do it. Okay, but it also says that if you're having public comment or a public hearing, the public is allowed to participate through video conference. So right now, today, it seems like, well, what the heck? No big deal, right? But last time it was. So the question is, would we like to keep that part of it? Or do we want to say it's only a tool for the board to use?
No,
No,
No. I mean,
A discussion, not voting, discussion.
okay.
We
correct.
don't want it to be just a tool for the board. Is that what
Right.
you're saying? No.
We want the public to be able to attend by video conferencing. And
Yes, we do.
we need to come up with whatever security protocols we can to make sure that what happened last time doesn't happen again. And
Or that we have a quick response.
This is
well-
the quickest you can get, is doing
I mean,
this.
but we have somebody waiting.
yeah, but that does, if they
This is
come in
quickly.
after public comment, then they're just viewing, right? They're not participating,
Right,
um,
and they can do that on YouTube.
Right.
right? Anonymously. So
We've invited them for a purpose,
Yeah, if they were
like
a
interviewing or
consultant
something,
or,
and then
yeah,
that's
something.
different. That's not just,
Yeah.
right.
but there are security things we can try, and we will start implementing them in the near future to
Well,
make
we
sure,
need to
we
talk
implement-
about it.
right?
Tell us what you're thinking,
Yes.
so people know.
Well,
Please.
one is that people, write to the clerk up until 5 o'clock on the day of the meeting and request to be admitted to the meeting. And that way we have an email address that we can verify and make sure that the person is a real person with an identity.
Would that be a requirement or just a
Well, I guess
request?
that's,
A-
up- that's for us to decide.
I mean, these are the things we need to talk about.
Yeah.
So if this is something that we don't want to spend an hour on today, everybody think about it.
Yeah.
Think about what you've seen or heard. We've all seen ones where you register
Yeah.
and things like that. So think about whether we want to, just by putting extra steps in could be enough of a dissuasion to someone who just randomly hired that day and decides they want to create havoc on somebody's meeting. So, but think about what's possible. Ultimately, if we let them in, we let them, anything can happen. And then we just try to be able
Try to
to
be as
quickly zap.
responsive as you
Yeah.
were,
Yeah.
very responsive
Okay.
last time. Thank you.
Okay, so think.
Amanda,
Yes, ma'am.
I'll just say, Neil had a way, and I believe it had just something to do with a delay. And we just need to find out from him what he did. It never happened. And we did
Right.
video conferencing all through COVID, and it never happened. And I remember a conversation I had with him where he said he prevented this happening through a delay. So I did send a email to him. I didn't hear back. It is summertime, so I'm hoping that maybe it's just as simple as finding out what Neil did.
Okay,
Well, if you think it's some type of delay mechanism that Zoom can provide, we can find that out. We can
Oh,
ask
yeah,
about
right.
that. We don't have to wait for Neil to tell us.
Yeah,
We
we
can,
can ask
tomorrow,
that.
we can start looking into that. So.
We were in
anyhow-
touch with someone named Daniel, right, who was supposed to be, was helping ostensibly, right?
So Daniel is our IT person. All he said was he thought we should be using not Zoom, but some other
WebEx.
WebEx thing, which I'm not crazy about.
How would that make a difference?
I don't know, maybe it has the delay feature, I don't know, but he didn't know enough
I don't
about
have the
Zoom to
delay.
be able to advise us anything specific.
I
or
see.
He did not advise us anything specifically, but, okay, these are
Well,
good
I'll
ideas.
try Neil again,
Oh, thanks.
maybe
Good.
more,
Cool.
but I know we never had a problem when we Zoomed for, years, through COVID. I mean, maybe a year, whatever it was.
thank you for that information,
Yeah.
Julie.
Mhm.
So I believe that public input is not a legal requirement,
Correct.
but however, our practice in this community has been so,
Mhm.
and we sort of have been spoiled since COVID with the video conferencing. And since we need to have public support and input on community involvement, I ask that we do everything possible to maintain that open. And that if we should have a disruption and that it stresses out shortly, I think the interest of the community is a greater good. Now, the village has someone at the table. I observed that when we met the last time. There's a person monitoring it. And maybe we need to do that. We need to have some kind of maybe quick response, but we, meet someone. And in short, I believe that, we might have to suffer a little discomfort, to allow this, what I believe now is a right of the community.
Yeah. I agree. I'm glad that you said that as a right, because it goes much further than it just being people being spoiled, but we really do for accessibility
Mhm.
and to make it available to more people. to
Yeah.
Have ones and.
Okay,
And I made a comment,
Figure it out.
I noted the last time that we met at, an executive session for an hour and 25 minutes. And I'm thinking, if people were sitting in the audience here waiting for an hour and 25 minutes, if you're home, you can go do something with your kids, et cetera.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So
laundry.
that's, another reason.
okay, so I think we're all in agreement that we want to maintain the access to Zoom for the public.
Yeah.
And we just need to learn more. So please, I welcome all your ideas, do some homework, whatever you can find out. Send it in and we'll work on it. Okay?
Sign
Okay.
it as a project.
Oh, she's evil. She's an evil woman. What can I say? All right. Okay, okey doke. Now on to, oh, okay, this is a good one.
11?
So we already had our public comment about this authorization to approve the resolution against the Iroquois pipeline expansion. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make that motion. I'd like
Thank
to,
you.
yeah,
So do I have a
Discussion?
second?
oh, sorry.
Okay, Edgar's the second. Oh, also, we did say this last time, for Rosanna's sake, we should say our names when we make motions and seconds. You obviously stand out, Edgar, but.
Just
Okay, okay, so discussion on this resolution?
I'd just like to maybe read the first couple whereases so that
Okay.
that information is out there. Is that all right?
Yeah,
Please
that's a
do,
great idea.
Please do.
Okay, and because there's only about 5, and I think I read through it, and I think a couple could be left out without losing anything. I'm sure that it's on the website. This resolution is to oppose the expansion of the Iroquois pipeline. It involves a compressor station being included in the plan, and so I'm going to read the whereases, first couple of them. This is a resolution urging the governor of New York to deny the Iroquois pipeline expansion, whereas the proposed expansion of the 30-year-old Iroquois natural gas pipeline will significantly increase the fracked gas volume, escalating environmental and health risks in the Hudson Valley. And whereas emissions from compressor stations release pollutants like nitrogen oxide and the carcinogen benzene, proven to cause serious health threats, thus violating New Yorkers' right to a clean and healthy environment under the Green Amendment. And whereas historical data documents that natural gas pipeline infrastructure, including compressor stations, pose significant safety hazards, evidenced by frequent incidents of leaks, explosions, and resultant fatalities and environmental damage. I'm going to go to the now therefore be it resolved that the town of New Paltz calls on Governor Hochul to immediately deny the permit for the Iroquois natural gas pipeline expansion, thereby upholding New York's CLCPA and the state's environmental standards and commitment to a sustainable future.
Very good. Anybody else have any discussion on this?
No, I mean, this has been on Governor Hochul's desk for quite a while now. So, you know, I think that the end of this resolution is really important, but this resolution does go to Governor Hochul. So, thank you. I guess Rosanna takes care of mailing that out.
So, right, so we need to vote. I need to have a roll call vote, right? So, Essie,
Aye.
Aye.
Edgar?
Aye.
Julie,
Aye.
Kitty Brown,
Aye.
and Amanda Gatto. Aye. Okay, so now Rosanna's got that. She can adopt it. It's
Just for the record, it goes to many other,
Yes, it does.
legislators.
It does, but
That's right.
it's just hit the brick wall at the governor's desk, so this might break through the wall.
Okay. Okay, doke. Very good. So that one's taken care of and Rosanna will take care of it for us. Thank you, Rosanna, for that. Also, by the way, because Rosanna is there, she is absolutely invited at any point in time to stop us and ask for any clarifications or to point out that we have done something wrong or have forgotten something. We appreciate that kind of help. Okay. All righty. Request authorization to pay Whispering Pines Development Corp. Pay App number 3 in the amount of, hold on to your hats, everybody, $486,091.09 for the Henry W. Du Bois Bike and Ped Path Project. Do I have a motion?
Second, Julie.
Second,
Or,
Julie.
yeah,
Okay.
right.
Who was the motion? Which one of y'all
I'm-
fine people was the motion?
I
Kitty.
mean,
Kitty?
Yeah.
Okay, Kitty made the motion, seconded by Julie. Any discussion?
Just a comment for the public, this is the Boys Project.
Mhm.
People are asking me about it.
Mhm.
I want to let the public know this is a big project, and at least this document indicates that it's a $4 million plus project.
Mhm.
And which I welcome, and it's starting to really shape up well.
It's moving along. It's, yeah, we're gonna see big bills every time now,
Every time.
because they're really working hard and fast and there's a lot going on from one end to the other. And we do get the 2-week look ahead about what they're intending to do in the weeks coming up. So you can always see that posted on the website.
People were actually excited about the curve that they're putting in. They thought that was
It's wide. It's
a
so
great
pretty.
idea.
Well, we talked a lot about how to slow traffic down in the planning stages. Everyone knows, how important it is to do that. And there was that's an important part of the project, how to slow people down.
Right, it's, there's a lot happening, there are places where things are gonna have to be addressed that weren't really worked out, like a drainage situation that needs to be finalized. There's 5 mailboxes that need to be relocated, one of which needs to be relocated. Yeah, it's gonna cause headaches for plowing, snow plowing.
A lot of damage.
Well, we,
A lot
we
To
can-
what?
that
to the
occurred.
towns and the infrastructure.
so do you have an idea about how we can avoid that?
Can we vote on this authorization and?
Sure.
Okay, so all in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now you want to ask them?
Are there any
We're gonna
alternatives?
have to get through a winter. We tried addressing this, both myself and the village, and we were disinvited to the meetings. So this is the way it is, what we're stuck with. They didn't want to hear our input.
Who's
So
they?
we're just gonna,
Is they Whispering Pines who
No.
just,
They weren't even
there
there.
wasn't even a contractor assigned to the job yet.
So is it snow shoveling then? Or
Oh,
by hand?
one of the
It's the street.
considerations was the increased maintenance. How do we plow the bike pit?
Right.
Where are you gonna put the snow? We have to snow load, we have to load it into trucks.
It's,
The
you know.
original bike path was not big enough to put a truck on. How do you clean it? Now we have to buy another piece of equipment to clean it. Some of the main or some of the curbs, some of the guide rails directly over water sewer mains. What happens when we have a problem? You can't dig around it, you just have to rip it out. What happens when you hit an unmovable problem? Piece of guide rail, piece of slate in the ground with the cutting edge of a plow. Something's going to give. It's usually both.
I tell people about the downside of the curve, now.
Well, I mean,
Right.
it's hard to, yeah,
There's
it's
always
difficult.
some,
You learn to work.
yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to
There's
figure it out
pros
as
and
you go.
Mhm.
Okay, so, stay tuned. Okay, we'll hear more, I'm sure. Okay,
That was our biggest issue.
Yes.
what is?
yeah, the drainage part that needs to be addressed. Okay, let's see, request authorization to increase the adopted 2024 budget for unanticipated revenue as follows. And there's this thing that, Jean provided for us. So it's federal aid, it's, tips. Yeah. And then there was a cost overrun for print mail from the justice and court.
Tickets?
Who knows? Yeah. So do I have a motion to increase the adopted budget for unanticipated revenue?
I'm not, I'm sorry that I should have asked earlier. I don't really understand what this is about. That we're adding
Right.
$38,829 to the,
Appropriations and used equipment.
and this is for that building,
The building of the
Mhm.
team.
that little building.
Right,
Okay, so the
right.
money came in and now, okay,
Okay. Okay.
got it.
And then there was some ARP committed funds that are going to Chris. Chips. And then there was this $1,000 for a cost overrun. Do we have to modify to address that? So it's coming from this fund and going to this, coming from justice contractual obligations to print mail.
Justice print mail.
Yeah,
Okay, I mean, as long as it's within the same department.
it has to be,
I
don't, you know what I
Yeah.
just heard today. It has to be in the same department. Okay, any more discussion?
Just a question for Chris. The $192,000 is for the highway, for roads, surfacing. This,
The budget,
right,
it has to do with our CHIPS funds.
okay, from the
So-
state.
so- From the state, so as the CHIP funds come in, we have to show it as revenue,
Okay.
and then it has to be moved into the CHIP line.
As you
Typically,
use
we
it.
earmark 118,000 every year for CHIPS lines, so when the
Okay.
budget starts in January, when you look at our budget line, it'll say 118,000 CHIPS. We don't get the notification to usually March, what the state's actually gonna give us, and then we have to
But the
take
money,
that money, put it into
the money is for, maintaining the roads.
Yeah, capital highway improvement. roads.
That's
Thank you,
that's
which, you've indicated in the past is underfunded as far as you're concerned.
We've actually been doing pretty well with, capital highway improvements.
Okay.
We're up around the $300,000 range,
Okay,
which we've never gotten before. But it's incremental because everything tripled, so it's.
I can see it.
Okay, so are we ready to vote?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, Julie. Okay, near and dear to our heart, authorization to approve the updated voucher audit schedule. And this was due to the fact that Edgar's here now and Julie's been gone, and so Julie's gonna get to do a couple of extra ones towards the end of the year to make up for Kitty's, yeah, she's going, yeah, okay. Okay, so do I have a motion to approve this?
I see, so moved.
Second, Edgar.
All in favor? Do we need discussion?
Nope.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, now, just adjacent to this, I have some bad news for you two, is that unfortunately, Maria came to me today, this afternoon, with 35 more vouchers that came in that need to be signed by Monday. I'm so sorry, but we are going to make a point going forward that if they come in that late, it's just gonna be too bad. You know, we don't want to trigger late fees and
I was
stuff.
gonna
we
say.
just can't
When do they have to be done by?
by
Monday.
Monday.
Neil
Yeah,
used to bring them to the meetings, Amanda.
I deliberately did not bring them to the meetings, Julie, because insisting
Oh.
that people confirm
She
that
wants
that money's
focus.
there.
That's right.
Yeah,
Kitty, I'm away until Sunday.
well, you
Monday,
both have to do them. You both have to do
Right, I
them,
know,
so,
Sunday, Monday,
Monday morning,
Mhm.
I
probably.
think so.
okay, great. I'll tell Maria that's when you're coming in.
Of course, they don't have to be done by the two people at the same time.
no.
No,
right.
just they have to be done by two
But
people.
one is in training.
Oh, very
Uh,
good. Yeah, makes
I
sense.
have to say, Edgar, for your first time doing
He did
vouchers,
great. He
you
did
were
great.
so meticulous. You really
He
did a
did
good job.
And he didn't take 7 hours. He got through it not much more longer than you did. Yeah,
It took
I mean-
4 hours.
it's 4. Well, that's
Yeah,
great. That's good.
but, you know, he prints out the
Yeah.
revenues, but, you know, it seemed to be a good system. Anyway, it worked really good.
Okay, you don't want September? We just approved this, honey. You wanna negotiate with somebody?
It's fine. We already approved it. We're good.
Okay, all right. Authorization to approve the following seasonal workers at Moriella Pool for after the pool closes, post-season. They will be hired from September 8th to December 14th. However, they will not be working all that time. There's at a rate of $17 an hour. There's quite a bit of them here in the hopes that some of them show up. It will be after school or on weekends.
In
to
the
be
hopes
doing-
that they show up.
Well, there's a bunch of them here, so they won't all come at once. There's like,
What
Yeah.
kind of work will they be doing?
Yes.
they're
thank
gonna
you.
be doing maintenance work after the pool closes. They're going to be cleaning up, sweeping, raking leaves when the leaf season's happening. Maybe trying to get the cover on the pool, just some things like that.
It's not something our building and grounds.
It is not because it's seasonal work and our buildings and grounds people are doing other stuff.
We help with it.
Yeah.
They get it out, past the gate. Still have a problem getting the cover on. That's
Something, no, that's a whole nother story. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second, Edgar.
So for discussion,
Wait, tell her it's you. Kidding.
Kitty,
Thank you. Okay, discussion.
uh, so
Wait.
there are 12 names, with 14 spaces,
Mhm.
$17 an hour.
That's
So-
all that's all it is.
So we're not
So there's
approving
not
14.
No,
There's 12.
Okay.
okay. The following
I-
season.
You have a cap on this?
No. Go ahead. Julie?
Are these people that volunteered to do the postseason or chosen? Is that anybody?
Being paid, so they're definitely not volunteers.
Right.
No,
There's-
volunteer to be chosen, to be postseason worker. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, these are people who indicated they would possibly on some weekend when they're not doing something else,
Okay.
they indicated they would be interested in doing it, but none of them absolutely committed and signed in blood that they would do it every weekend.
So it's not like we have a set amount of hours a day or week. We don't know.
There's
what
certain
the
amount
total
of
will
work
be.
that needs to be done and hopefully, you get 2 to 4 people on any particular day that you need to do it. And maybe some come for the morning and then some maybe others come for the afternoon, just. It's kind of catch as catch can apparently. Okay, so did we vote on this? We did, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. Okay, this is a good one. Authorization to approve increasing the monthly water and sewer rates effective September 1, 2024, due to the increase in rates from the village. And to approve the resolution to make this effective. So first we approve it and then there's a resolution somewhere. Yeah, the village is raising their rates to both the village customers and the town customers. The town is taking that amount and raising it equally because otherwise we'd be in the hole. The town is not increasing it any more than above what the village increases. Do I have a motion?
And do we have a choice?
No.
Julie,
Is that
Bite
the
the
motion?
bullet.
Mr. Jean?
so
Julie, you
moved.
made the motion?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second? Okay, any discussion?
As Kitty said, there's not much choice. there.
Yeah.
We don't have a choice. It represents about a 30% increase on the water and 27% increase on sewer.
So is this just, do we know why the village had to raise the rates? Is it going,
Wasn't
This-
there a little discussion with Tim about it on an
Mhm.
email? I think.
Well, Tim has put something in the paper about it. He discussed it at a village board meeting that they have infrastructure, bills and costs that they need to, be covering and working on, maintaining the,
oh,
infrastructure.
right, there was that picture of
There
the
was that,
corrugated
yeah,
pipe.
yeah.
Right.
So there's a lot of work out there and they have, they've gone for different grants and so forth and funding and not been very successful. So this is now the way to do it. So,
Mhm.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Oh, this is a fun one. Okay, authorization to approve the land acknowledgement statement. So let's do the motion in a second and then we can talk about it.
I'd like to move it. Julie?
Thank you. Second?
So for discussion, do we want,
You have to
There's a
second it and
second.
then we can.
I thought you said,
No, Julie motioned.
I thought you said,
I asked for a second.
oh, it's
Second.
a question.
Thank you,
I
thank you. It was
thought-
a question.
I see.
Okay, all right. So a little bit of history on this one. Certainly we all recognize that the village has a standing land acknowledgement, for their meetings. And, we thought, that's interesting. Kitty and I were at a presentation at the United Methodist Church about history of New Paltz, which is really fascinating and so much that we don't know, and apparently so much that gets discovered and, you know, on and on. And one of the things we realized was like, there is an amazing amount of things that have been done in this community. And there have been people here from Africa since the Huguenots came. And that's probably not been recognized at all. And those people were here for, you know, hundreds of years, and we needed to acknowledge what their contributions were, and that there were freed people who were also contributing to our built environment. Ann Oliver has a wonderful example of that.
Absolutely.
So we felt that it was important to try to acknowledge that as well, and that we wanted to reach out to the folks in our Black community to get their input and thoughts on the Margaret Lee Lewis Center, Black Studies Department at SUNY, to just, you know, so this is, and Kitty did a lot of this work, and so this, who would like to read it? Do you want to read? You want to read? Do you want to
You
read?
know,
You want me to read it? I can read it.
yes,
Okay, okay. Indigenous land and Black labor acknowledgement for the town of New Paltz.
slow down.
The town of New Paltz humbly acknowledges that we are on the traditional lands of the Munsee, Esopus, and Lenape people. The Indian Removal Act of 1830 forced the people to relocate to inhospitable territory, far from the bountiful valley and mountains we inhabit today. The town further acknowledges that much of the physical structure of our town and village was built by enslaved Africans who labored as the property of their owners until 1827 on this very land. We acknowledge the contributions, resilience, and accomplishments of the BIPOC community who have overcome historic injustice to inform our past and inspire our future. Please visit the resource library on our website to learn more. We encourage residents and visitors to learn more about the contributions and sacrifices made by the indigenous people and enslaved Africans by visiting these sites. And there's a long list of links.
Which we will have.
We will,
in
they
our
can be,
resource.
It'll be on our
it'll be
website.
on our website, but it can be on our agenda as a link for anyone who sees our agenda. We won't
Oh,
read
that's
it
a good
every
point.
time, but it
Yes.
can always be there.
That's a good
And
point.
I just found a new one today,
Ah.
which was when that event we attended
Yeah.
with Pastor Harmon.
Yeah.
The history that our poet laureate, Kate Hines,
Mm.
read that day, she has now assembled as an incredible essay called The Cox Connection,
Mhm.
about the history of the Cox family here. So we gotta add that one to our resources.
Okay, we can add to it anytime.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And anyone who wants to provide us with others.
We encourage
I-
people.
I'd like to add to the historic Huguenot Street, the marker that's on Huguenot Street,
Mhm.
which has to do with many of us that were involved, by accident, learned that, there was an abandoned cemetery of African folks there, and it was by reading old newspaper articles
Mhm.
that we read, along with, Brian Riddell at the library, that there was a funeral procession going north on Huguenot Street. And Brian and I asked each other, north, the cemetery is south. And that became the first hint that, about these lands.
The
And then
African
many of us,
burial ground, you mean?
worked on that.
On Huguenot.
The
And
Historic
just-
Society.
Yeah.
Was that your the first hint that we knew of the African burial
Yeah.
ground on Huguenot?
That was the first that was prompted. And then we met some folks, from Huguenot Street that remembered some elderly person.
Wow.
And he kind of sat saying, yeah, I think there's something over there. And the house is set back because of grave sites in front of it.
Interesting.
Mhm. And it's marked.
It's
is,
marked,
yeah.
it has a state marker on it with a bench
Mhm.
that many of us contributed to that the village is maintaining. And I think that should be listed here.
Okay, so anything you want to put into
We can
the-
add.
We can add. So I think it's just really important. I think I'm amazed at how remiss the town's been about doing this.
Mhm.
And so I'm glad that we are doing it. And, you know, this is a part of our history. Oh, those buildings are there we can look at, It's part of the culture here in New Paltz too, and it's important to remember all.
Mhm.
So
And
now,
thank you, Kitty, for all of your hard work in it, and I think it's long overdue. I'm really happy to see it as a young person of color growing up here in New Paltz. There were so many things that I was not taught and that we did not speak about. So to be able to, you know, have my daughter have a different experience in growing up is really,
Yeah.
really incredible. So I'm proud of us.
But by the way,
Here.
in my wife is descended from a slave plantation in Puerto Rico in 23. But genetically, I'm 25% African, 25% indigenous. I have 2% Jewish, Canary Islands and Spain.
There you go.
So I identify with these things.
But you know, what really opened my eyes to this after that event at
The
Pastor
church?
Harmon's church was I just remembered the historic Huguenot Street tours that my children went on,
Right.
Mhm.
But I
which were
went on.
all about, you know, the Duzine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing went before their life.
Right.
And it's just, it's, you know, it's a hard part of our history, but until we talk about it, it just remains hidden. So, I'm really great. I don't know if that's an ongoing series, the history
Oh, yes.
moments. Okay,
Yes.
well worth attending
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the future.
Yeah.
Now Julie had an idea, so this can be on our agenda, it can be in the minutes. At the village board, they just read it real quickly, it's,
Mhm.
you know, short part. But Julie had an idea, and maybe this could be in person, or maybe it could be a recording, is to have school kids. read.
Love
That's
that.
my
No,
idea.
that's Kitty.
It's Kitty's
Ju-
idea, I'm sorry.
Kitty.
Julie
Now,
said, what
Julie-
about it? Yeah.
Julie wants us possibly to recite it as a group, but then
Well, I was, as I worked in Duzine and Lenape schools, and after every pledge, the kids do their best to recite, you know, memorize, because it's not written in most classrooms. Some classrooms have it written on the wall, but some of them are not reading yet, so it wouldn't matter. But a land acknowledgement, you know, an indigenous acknowledgement. And I think this is a wonder, you know, I also want to say that the Historic Preservation Commission is now saying the land acknowledgement at the beginning of their meetings. I believe it's said in unison, as best as people can. So you know, reading it off something. So it's, you know, it's an option that maybe we could consider. I find it pretty meaningful to do it with the kids anyways, you know,
Yep.
when you say it, but a shorter version would be a little more reasonable, but I think it's fantastic. I'm thrilled that I get to now go to the Historic Preservation Commission and say, hey, you know, there's this additional really important part of it, you know, the contributions of enslaved people. And I'm positive, because I know those commissioners now, they are going to be ready to add that part. So thank you for that important piece. So yep, whatever, I feel like down the road, maybe at some point we can revisit it. You know, I love that we're doing this now, and that it'll be read at the beginning of each meeting if that's what people choose to do, or simply at our tops of our agenda. Whatever people choose, I'm sure will be great.
I'm thrilled to just hear it in however form, but I really do like the idea of being able to say it in unison. And I'm a person who about ands, not just ors. And so I think that, and what we see people do often is still invite kids in to be the leader, even though we're reading it in unison,
Yeah.
right? They do a lot with the pledge and have the voice, the scouts or whoever it is,
Yeah.
if someone's available to come and lead it.
Yeah.
Or read it, or however we
That's a
choose to
great
do it.
idea.
It doesn't have to
Okay.
be one or the
Well,
other.
these are great things, and
Yeah,
we
it's
can
good
also,
ideas.
you know, invite other members of our community
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what we do is, do we get this
Yeah,
figured
we
out?
just,
And certainly till school starts and stuff, but maybe.
and we
at
offer
our-
it as we
Yeah.
offer it to them
Right.
once, you know.
I
So
think we'd
maybe-
have takers from every grade, you know, including piglets, for example.
Including
Right,
Piglets, and even, we see college students here as well that
Right.
have to come and participate, so.
right. So if
Yeah.
they just show up randomly, they could
Yeah.
read it with us, or we could hand it out. Everybody's got an agenda that comes to the meeting. We could all read it. You know,
Yep.
there's all kinds of ways to do it. So we'll
Oh, we
figure
should,
it out.
we should
Yeah.
have some
So-
way for people to sign up to do that,
That's
like
good.
an online sign up,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
people can pick a
So
time.
for our next meeting, do we want to do it as a board?
Yes, we're gonna do
Yeah,
it. as a
practice.
board.
I
Right.
think we need
Give
to
us time to practice.
practice.
That's plenty of time. We don't have a
It's
meeting
like
till
the Pledge of
September.
Allegiance,
Yeah.
you know, it's like just read it and we'll read it together.
Alright.
Okay, all right, very good. So did we have a vote on this? To
Yes, they
approve the
voted.
land acknowledgement?
We voted.
Oh, sorry,
No, we
aye.
just read it. Okay, all in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Yay, thank you. All right, we're getting close here, folks. We just got one wrong. Okay. Okay, this is another one. Authorization to approve that the assessor continue the current arrangement with Patty Smith to not exceed 2 nights per week or 5 hours a week at $25 per hour. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So that was Kitty and Essie. Do you want a discussion on this?
No.
Okay.
She needs to help.
All,
Aye.
aye, all
Aye.
in favor? Aye.
I-
You wanna-
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What is the role of Patty Smith?
She is an assessor who works for another, nearby town,
Oh,
and she's
right,
helping out because we have.
right. She actually was here
Right.
when we didn't have an assessor.
Right,
Got it.
right, so she's helping out, because we're very short-handed back over there
Right.
now, got we had the employee who went out, and then we had the temp who's now gone out, so we're like, yeah. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Oh, boy, this is a fun one. Authorization to approve the August warrant in the amount of $2,135,290.17. This is what happens when you do big capital projects.
Yeah.
All right.
Good
do I have a-
improvements.
Do I have a motion?
Well, Edgar and I did these, so I will make a motion.
All right. Do you want a second?
Yes, I think I'm saying.
Okay, any discussion? No, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Very good. So that brings us back to the one I haven't done, which is the LaBerge IMA discussion, which I wrote a suggested revision to it, which has to do about essentially the costs and invoicing. And this is based on, okay, we won't have the discussion yet. Okay. No, it is a discussion. Oh, okay, it is a discussion. Okay, we're not voting on the discussion.
Mhm.
Okay, so a couple of things. So first of all, was my understanding and realization that the CREG award of $50,000 it's called a 50% match. It is not that the applicant then matches that with half of it. That's not the way it works, the way mini grants work. It means that this award will match up to 50,000 of the total cost of the project.
Mhm.
And then the remainder is borne by the applicants, which in this case would be the village and the town. So the only way that that grant will award the full amount is if the whole total cost are $100,000. And then the village and the town would each be, responsible for 25,000. If it went, anything goes over that, it's the responsibility of the village and the town. The grant is only for 50,000. If you spend less than 100,000, you don't get 50. You get half of what you spend. Okay. That's part one.
Mhm.
Part two is, we've already done a lot of work on this concept in 2011, Fair Weather Report. In 2013, that subsequent report, I don't know if it had a special name, of collecting the majority of this data that's needed, but it's clearly an update that's needed. So a question I would like to go back to LaBerge with is, they gave a range of $75,000 to $90,000.
Mhm.
Given that we're not starting from square one, that we already have a lot of this there, could it be that in fact 75,000 could be the amount that we needed to just update? Okay, we have newer trucks, we still maybe have the same number of trucks, we still have, many things that we had then are still in place. We don't have a town hall anymore, so that asset's gone. We have icky old trailers, but things like that. So could it perhaps be done for the lower range of the money? And then the other thing is that we would like to include the staff hours that are going to be spent on this as in kind. And so Jean has been helping me come up with, Jean has been helping me come up with the different personnel's rates and benefits so that we could assign an amount to a certain number of hours that we would think they would be spending. And obviously, Ones that'll be most impacted are gonna be highway, building department, finance. These are the ones that aren't already shared. The police are gonna be like, okay, they've got a new building and there's some debt associated with that. They've got different, maybe different vehicles, but essentially their role is not gonna be. So I tried to come up with that with about, 12 or 15 positions that I thought would be most being impacted with that. Came up with about between the salary and the benefits thing, came up with about $10,400 worth of potentially, until we do it, we don't know, but I just tried to come up with sort of an estimate of how much time might be taking place over time. And there's those work groups also that these folks would be involved. So I came up with that. That's just for the town. The village will have some comparable amount. So you add that to $75,000 and you're up to that, about that 100,000 already. So that's why I would like to, try to see if we can keep LaBerge at the $75,000. So that we don't end up putting more, more and more money out in addition to the time. So that's kind of the thinking of why I drafted this for the IMA. It's dependent, of course, on this further discussion with LaBerge, but we can at least say that for, with those assumptions, this could be that our approach to the IMA. It changes a little bit also. The village was asking that every time they got an invoice that they would share it with us and we would pay half of it. But then it's gonna get real complicated about how this happens at the end when the grant pays them $50,000. And we've been putting money, so I mean, this is something to discuss about, just logistically what, how it could work better, but that we would obviously contribute to the total cost of our portion of it with our in-kind and money. But that they would, since they have the grant and they will hold the contract, that they would handle all of that part of it and we would give them our monthly in-kind hours, and value of those hours so that it's tracking along as we go. So I haven't had a chance to just, obviously we need to discuss it with the Verge. We discuss with the Verge, but this is kind of where I'm going with it. So we don't have to vote on this. We just have to say if you think this is reasonable or somebody thinks I'm just totally whack.
You have not to exceed $18,700. It's the kind of final cost for it.
Of money. That's half of 75 would be 37,500
Right.
and our half of that and the village's half of that. That's where I came up with that amount of money. If it's the 75,000, if we say LaBerge is not to exceed 75.
And the
Yeah.
in-kind service,
I came
we
up with,
actually are going to adjust for that. You said 10,000.
yeah, it could be around 10,000. So, any remaining LaBerge costs, we would reimburse in money.
Right.
But the in-kind would go into the total, that then that grant award of 50,000, would say, okay, you've met 100 or even exceeded it, so the 50,000 goes, and obviously it would go towards the actual LaBerge contract to reduce everybody's outlay of money.
So, the IMA agreement that we had signed, what are we kind of, what's the process for us? Another meeting, another joint meeting, or?
Well, so at this point, if we agree we think this is an appropriate approach, then yes, we need to go back and tell the village, here's where we are, here's what we would. Now, LaBerge has been open to, having a teleconference or something with us. So once we get our heads around this and say why we want to talk to them about what, then we can do that. And we have their proposed scope of services and deliverables, and they have, a range of how many meetings and all this stuff and what they want and all that. So maybe we can go back and talk to them a little bit about how do we really focus this on what really needs to happen from their end. And
So do we want to meet with them as a board? Do you want to meet with them as a supervisor?
we can figure that out. I think at the very least, if we had a teleconference with them, if we do it as a board, it becomes different. Yeah, because as we learned from video conferencing, even if it's a workshop or whatever, unless it's a social event where no business is discussed, we can't get together. That's But we can try to nail it down. What, the other thing about the LaBerge contract is they have this two-page thing that says, here's how much everything costs, but it doesn't actually say that. It says 75 to 90,000. It doesn't say
Right.
how much, who's doing what work, at what rate, on what activities. I would like to see it in more detail as to how they came up with those numbers. And what what are the deliverables that we will get for 75? Then that we don't get for 90, what would be of and beyond that? And is 75 sufficient to do this work? Which is to put that report together saying, here's the analysis, and then do a plan based on that analysis of what a consolidation would accomplish in terms of greater efficiency and reduction in taxes.
Now, we don't sign the agreement, correct? As the town board, it's the village that has the,
The village, so on the grant, we're a co-applicant, but we didn't sign it, and yes, for simplicity, they would the Verge would prefer to have one point of contact. But this IMA commits us to supporting what's needed to do that work. So it says that we will provide everything they ask for, and we will share the costs and all that kind of stuff.
So
Thank you.
the village has already voted on a different version.
Yeah.
The version that you have up there.
Right.
So, what do you foresee as our way of communicating this to the village?
I think we should say that, I think we can tell them just what we just talked about. I mean, I can either go to a meeting or I can talk to, I don't know the best way to do it.
I mean, why wouldn't we just send it to the entire village board
Mhm.
and just say, these are our thoughts?
Yeah, and based on these issues or questions or, considerations, we feel that this would be a more appropriate way of handling it.
Mhm.
But I expect that getting it cold, they're gonna be going, you're whack. They don't understand it, because until I understood that, where that grant
Well,
worked,
I didn't,
understand
I
it
mean,
either.
I thought that,
Yeah,
we were getting
$50,000.
$50,000,
Mhm.
right? And I did not understand that it was a percentage of whatever we spent. And so, we can just be upfront about that,
Mhm.
because we didn't understand it until Amanda actually got into
Started
the
asking questions.
rabbit hole,
Yeah.
right? So.
And I
um,
have to tell you, I only just brought up with DOS last week about what do we do about, addressing in-kind contributions. And then he said, what are you thinking about? So I did a quick rough thing and I said, well, it could be, 6,000 to 8,000, because I hadn't thought about the fringe benefits. And then he said, well, fill out this sheet. So today, after doing all of this, I put it and I said, is this what you're looking for? So I'll see what he responds to.
Okay.
But he was acknowledging or aware or open that, yeah, in kind is a component of it.
I mean, that's just going to be such a huge amount of labor from our staff, so I'm glad you asked, and I'm glad that it is recognized. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for your thoroughness, Amanda. I do think pressing for more detail will help us in the end not find ourselves facing costs that we didn't expect.
right, because that's the other thing, this, even, I mean, $18,750 doesn't sound like a lot, but this is something that's not in our budget right now,
Right.
and I'm not sure when we might actually be doing the active work. I mean, I certainly by the first, by next year, but whether we'll get anything started this year or whatever, and then when the costs started adding up, I don't know, but it's something we have to figure out where and how we would account for this and build it into next year's budget to finish it. And do remember that when this is done, that it goes for a vote. And when the two boards say yes or no, then it goes, and there's all this public, it's gonna be a lot of workshops. Then it goes to a referendum. So there is whatever cost is associated in getting it onto a ballot. And then if the referendum were to be positive to continue, then there's what's gonna be a really big, huge bill. And again, this Craig thing will give you $50,000 if you spend 100. I bet you we could spend 100 on that in a heartbeat. Putting together the actual implementation of a consolidation,
Oh,
and how
well,
you do this.
I mean, the LaBerge study for Pauling said that the ultimate consolidation would be in the area of about $650,000.
Oh my God.
So.
And we
you know,
get 50, yeah.
So,
Yikes.
so that's why we have to get the first stuff right,
Really.
you
like
know, right? So,
Wow, okay, well,
Right.
that's something that, Kitty had looked into a little bit and suggested is that because LaBerge was involved with the polling, it was a citizen initiated, reorganization towards consolidation, so it's different than a board initiated because they have very tight timelines and they didn't have as much time probably to work through it, but it failed.
Hmm.
And so some of the things would be, well, okay, what was, what was the experience there? What is their analysis about how it went and possibly why it failed and what can we learn or understand from that? So that's another reason to have more discussion with,
Absolutely.
LaBerge about that.
yeah, I can forward everybody, town and village. It's called the, finals, LaBerge Group calling final consolidation meeting. And it, this is probably the data that, led to the town, both the town and the village voting against consolidation. So whatever is in here that, made people decide we don't want to do this, we now know what not to do, right? So,
Or just say, wow, if that's one of our components as well, it could be a big hurdle.
yeah.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm the village and town of calling consolidation public meeting.
Okay,
I'll send
that'll
it
be
to
great.
everybody.
Okay, I think that was, Rosanna, was that the last? I know I've jumped all over the
I
place.
know.
Did I get everything? I've been marking. Oh, no, liaison reports, real quick.
Oh,
Which item?
Liaison report 17 on mine, piece of paper.
I don't understand my agenda. All right, so.
It's
on-
the
Pick the one you got.
just go with the paper one.
Yeah, go with the paper one.
I can start.
Okay, very good. Police commission? Or
Oh,
something
police
else.
commission. I
Well,
was
you
gonna
tell
say
me.
ethics first.
Okay.
Ethics has had their 2 requisite meetings for the year. We do have one scheduled in September. Can't remember the date at this moment.
Okay,
And we do have an open position that we will be posting for soon.
very good. Let us know and we'll give it up. Okay,
Okay, and then for police commission, there was not a police commission meeting for July. There was no quorum. We do also have an open position that we need to post and interview for, coming soon. And then we've already announced the conversation with the police on August 20th, 4 p.m. at Peace Park. And we had the pleasure of having the chief here to do a report, which he will be doing at least once a month to, keep our public abreast.
very good. Thank you. Who's next?
The question that I had, Betsy just addressed it because it came to mind when we talked about the vacant seat on the zoning board of appeals. I thought about the absence of Janice Butcher. We have an opening that's been there for. Plan like these. The
I have a
idea,
plan for Janet, which I will address in my report.
And I think this is only fairly recently that it was
Yes.
determined that she does have to be, her position is open. Okay. Do you want to do yours next?
You want to address that? Go ahead.
Well,
Fine.
unfortunately, Janice is not a resident of the town of New Paltz, so she can't be on the police commission. However, Katie Hamel has been working very hard to constitute a whole new group for the Ulster County Affordable Housing Task Force Initiative. And she has assembled, I think she sent you all the list of people that she's looking at.
Yep.
And Janice is eligible to be on that. So she will be a very important part of that. So the task force has kind of been on hiatus while Katie tries to gather a new, group of people to get a larger critical mass of people. And it's possible that, because one of the new, members is a veteran, that they will be able to be meeting in the FW hall, which was Ivan was nice enough to let us meet at the family, but it was just not working great there. So, the Public Access TV Committee is still wondering what is gonna happen with our franchise with Spectrum. I've been trying to keep them abreast of what our conversations have been with Spectrum. Spectrum is moderately interested in talking about some sort of cash donation to some of our nonprofits in lieu of the senior discount. And that's what I would like to ask is, if, I don't know how to do this, but I believe there are 11 people who currently get that senior discount. I'm one of them. You have to be 100 years old. You have to have been one of the first people to get in on it when this was offered in 1986 or something. So unless you have been grandfathered in, as I have since then, because my husband was eligible. So I think there are 11 people left. And what we need to do, and I've asked Spectrum, is can we contact those people and see if they would be willing to give up their $75 a year, which you have to fight tooth and nail for, in exchange for a cash contribution to family, the rescue squad, and the library each year. So we will take that. We will hope that works. There's some technical stuff that PATV is working on. They need a separate VPN internet connection. And they had some advice about how to avoid Zoom bombing, which I need to get more details on. They suggest only allowing people with a registered Zoom account into the meetings, which means we all have those, right? We all have a
Yeah,
Zoom.
we all have them, but
No.
that's still
Individually.
restricting the public.
Yeah, mine's the dinky one that you can only get 30
Yeah,
minutes.
Same.
but it means you are, Zoom knows who you are. In
Yeah,
other
but then
words.
it will kick her off every 30 minutes. Oh, no, but you're logging
No,
on to
ours-
our account, so it wouldn't do
Right,
that.
right. It just means that the person who is entering
Yeah,
has
but
to,
that's then restricting our public to only people who
Zoom
are
people.
registered, and
Yeah.
that's not.
That's not right.
okay,
That's like selling Zoom to.
Yeah.
okay.
And I'd be
And
willing to bet you that.
they are going to be, further deliberating on the future of Channel 23.
Mm.
Climate Smart, they have a new member who is observing, Anthony Fitzpatrick. I'm not sure if he's a permanent member or looking in from another Climate Smart. Joe Londa is waiting to see who will be in the best study group. I'm not sure.
I got to ask the guy.
Okay. So, he, acknowledges that the tier 2 commercial best is a whole other realm of risk and reward. New York State has one of the most productive lithium battery production facilities. I didn't know that.
Where are they?
Endicott.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
So we're sort of on the cusp of that technology. The greenhouse gas emissions, they have all the municipal data. Our
Oh,
municipality
wonderful, yeah.
has gotten that all together. They're waiting for fossil fuel use for residences. Newport Central School District could be the first in the state to provide greenhouse gas
Yeah,
emission
boy,
data.
yeah, that's,
So,
yeah,
well,
that'll be good.
They're
That'll be
working
good.
on that.
Yeah, good.
And there was a sort of kerfuffle about the coolest recycle capturing
All worked
refrigerant
out.
kind of thing, but it all worked out. Janelle and a bunch of,
Michael.
Michael.
Janelle and Michael.
just 2 people went and checked. It was 100 appliances,
Mhm.
refrigerators, air conditioners, things that people dropped off with the best of intentions to get that, the refrigerants out of there into a safe place. But it didn't all work because it was volunteer. And there is the hazardous household waste
Mhm.
event is Saturday, August 23rd.
Oh, wow. Good to know.
And Climate Smart wanted people to be aware of that. It's in incredible. You just put all that stuff in a box in your car. They are so efficient. It's just right up there, right? You just drive through, these and you're out and you get rid of all that.
At our recycle center?
Right up there. You drive through the commercial part. It's very exciting. So
You said the date was the
20,
23rd.
this is a Saturday of
It's
next
the
week,
24th.
24th.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay,
right, so
sorry.
I know that's.
Yeah, 23rd is a Friday.
Yeah, sorry. She has more. Oh, yeah, so I'm sorry.
It's just for lithium batteries? or-
No.
Oh,
no,
no, all
kinds of
your
stuff.
Electronic.
household hazardous, like old, aerosol
Televisions.
cans.
Yeah,
The only thing-
electronics, they have a separate.
They
thing.
go to the
There's a
Upper site
Mhm.
and look, it's amazing. All that stuff in your basement that you've been saying, what am I gonna do with it?
Oh, yeah,
Can
should
we
post
share
it.
the list?
Sure.
I mean,
don't see why
post the
not.
list as well?
Yes,
I think we should.
we should post the link, right? It's an incredible thing to be able to do. And,
Excited.
the only thing they won't take, I think, is motor oil. Pretty much everything else.
I have like an
Hmm?
announcement.
Okay, wait, we're doing liaison.
That's it, I'm done.
You're done. Okay.
Kind of.
Would you like to?
So I will be at, the assembly person, Sarah Hannah,
Mhm.
is having a training for municipalities,
Mhm.
on just cause eviction option. And I'll be attending that. It's in about 10 days or something.
Okay,
I'll report back out on.
great,
that.
okay.
Thank you.
I think both Katie Hamel and Susan Denton from our housing task force will be taking it with you, so that's good. We have good representation.
Who was the other person?
Katie Hamel is the administrator for our county housing task force.
Oh, okay. you're
And
right.
Susan didn't. Did you get to go to Bike Ped or any of your other?
No, not.
They might not have had one.
Hmm?
Did they not have one this month? Cause it's summer
I
holiday.
don't know. I've been, as you sat here, I said, oh boy. Something else I gotta get on.
Gotta get it in your
I'm gonna
calendar.
check mark with the vouchers now. I gotta go.
Yeah.
with the bicycle.
Get it in your calendar.
Okay, so,
And I'm getting an electric bike.
You
I
did
think,
yours, right? Oh, that's good for you. Okay, so I can report on, the planning board, the Taco Bell public hearing has closed. That application is now awaiting, the action from the ZBA. So I'll get back to that. The Burger King is updating their exterior, so they've been before the planning board and, addressing some issues there. The Bank of America, right there next to the movie theater, they're putting in a new ATM. And so that's necessitating some changes and things that are required there. So those are things that are happening there. The ZBA will be getting the Taco Bell for area variances for signs, for both, I think, number and size of the signs. And they also have a use variance, which doesn't come up that often, over on Plutarch Road. So they'll be reviewing that and it's kind of an interesting, if you just have a general, interest in land use and stuff and code, how a use variance happens, what the requirements are. And this particular one's kind of strange because it's going from one commercial use and then being asked to use it to another commercial use, but that one's not allowed in code, so that's what we have to do. That's all I got from mine.
So.
I have some,
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
Julie.
that's okay. It's an amazing time for the Historic Preservation Commission. There's just a lot of kind of shift, I think, and excitement, shift in thinking. I'm gonna do my best to, say what briefly has been going on. But the members, a certain member, Joe Marianne, is he led an exercise called empathy mapping, and it gave an opportunity for each member of the commission to share their thoughts about why they thought historic preservation was important to them. And I do have John Orfitelli's reason, and I think it does encapsulate a lot of what is going on in this commission, and I'd like to read it. He did include it in the minutes. I believe it's not something he would have a problem with sharing. He says, I've always been interested in world history, the events leading up to the revolution, the Civil War, 2 world wars, Vietnam, and other conflicts were particularly intriguing to me. It wasn't until I retired and joined the town's Preservation Commission, however, that I became fascinated with local history as well. The research by Neil Larson was completed at that time and focused on the early Huguenot settlers, their houses, farms, and family histories. And this is what we were talking about, how it was really focused on the white settlers. And he said more recently, the commission has been examining the contribution and influence of local indigenous people, Black slaves, and Black property owners. I feel the connection between these groups and individuals and how they've influenced and shaped the development of New Paltz is really what local historic preservation is all about. Linking the past to the present through protection of our local landmarks and sharing these histories with the public should be a primary goal of the HPC. A new, attractive, and inviting HPC website can facilitate that by providing students, visitors, and residents with an easy, and obviously people who live out of town even, a model perhaps, that's my addition, an easy to use research tool, enjoyable, interactive online experience for exploring our local history. So I just think that encapsulates what's going on. And I just wanted, sing the praises of John F. Fratelli again, for being, incredibly flexible and it's just a wonderful sign of the times, I think. As far as other things, gosh, they don't stop this group. They are looking into how this historic preservation can be facilitated through the real estate transfer tax money, the CPF, the Community Preservation Fund, and they invited a person or two people actually from the town of Southampton, and they spoke and gave advice about how to do this. There's lots of information about that, and also they had an interesting discussion about at the July meeting about the Taco Bell. Oddly enough, they had two commissioners go. Usually it's, usually HPC commissioners don't go to meetings, but they actually spoke at the public comment. And although they say, well, the Taco Bell ship has sailed for the most part, they felt they helped a bit to shape the signage discussion. Even just the planning board listening to them, they felt they were very much listened to, and they felt inspired and empowered to do similar things in the future. And I'm going to be certainly a part of trying. I've been interested in the idea of architectural standards, things like that, for quite a while, and so I'll be a part of that discussion, and I'm looking forward to that. John always gives the CPF money update, how much money has come in through real estate, the real estate transfer tax, and it's really an incredible fund that is, our community will be able to benefit from. And I probably should move on to just a brief discussion of the environmental board and the ENCB. Something of note, they were also involved in the Taco Bell lighting, especially variance seeking. I think you didn't mention lighting, Amanda, but I think that is something they are still seeking. So they were involved in that. Obviously the interest is in not having garish, obtrusive lighting that would be problematic for, night skies and whatnot. Another interesting recent event is the battery energy storage systems was discussed, and Manajo Green, the Ulster County legislator, came to present, and she's talking about the zoning, and that's going to be something I know all of us will be interested in, and I will be following up on. And I probably could leave it at that.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks. It's very stormy here. Can you see? It's very dark. It's not nighttime. It's just dark.
Wow.
I know I already talked about it, but I also go to the CPF meetings, and I've asked them to think about coming. Everybody was real excited and voted for the real estate transfer tax and setting up the CPF. It's been a couple of years now, and it would be, I think, good for them to come and remind all of us that they're still out there. They're actively looking at things, and there's actually there's some stuff that's going to be happening. So hopefully after their meeting next week, I think it is anyway, they'll think about coming in and talking to us a little bit about some things that are happening with things.
Awesome.
Very good.
That would be great.
I have a question about the ZBA.
Mhm.
So, Taco Bell is requesting a variance from the town sign code. So we have a sign code for commercial, which was, we had a lot of
work
public
on it.
hearings. And, businesses are doing great. The signs look, they tell people what's there without blasting you out of your car.
Mhm.
And so they want to have a completely different sign from everyone else?
No, well, no, not completely, and they've agreed they won't have a pole sign, they'll have a monument sign, which is one of the code things that, so they're not asking for that. It's the number of signs, I think they're allowed to have two, but they consider their menu, their drive-up menu as a sign, so that would be a third one, so they're asking for the number of signs to be changed. They also would like them larger, because if you remember, or maybe you do or don't know, Burger King, Taco Bell's gonna be in the lot, same
Right,
lot that behind it. So they want to make sure that, so they wanted maybe larger signs. So, that's,
So they're not gonna have the ladder sign, like they
no,
have
they're
tops
two
and,
stuff, no, they won't have that. There's gonna be two different monument signs. But they won't be up in the sky blocking your view of the ridge, things like
Okay.
that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. They've been trying to work with the planning board and hearing things the planning boards had to say, up to a point, and then, yeah. So we'll see what happens, but it goes to the ZBA for the first time this month.
Monday.
Yes, Monday, and so I'll be there. And of course, the first thing the ZBA will say, okay, we've got your information, everything, and set a public hearing. So then they'll have to come back the following month, because they only meet once a month, to do that, and then see what happens. Yeah, the wheels of land use.
Okay.
There's procedures to follow, and there's only so
Well-
many meetings. And was there anything else that I overlooked or forgot? Rosanna, are you still awake, girl? Or did we forget anything? She's raising her hand. I think that means we're good.
Unmute her, maybe?
Oh,
You need to unmute her.
Mhm.
She's a
Okay.
fellow unmutable.
Rosanna, is there anything you want to tell us?
Did you get everything, Rosanna? Do you need anything else from us?
Okay. Okay, I think we're good. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
Good night.
Good night.
Bye, Julie.
Drive
See you
home
next
safely
time.
next
See
door.
you, yeah,
Mhm.
it's gonna be exciting.
Um,
Okay, leave the meeting.
boy, it's nice not to have an executive session. We got out
I
at
know. How did I
9:30.
turn
We've
this
been getting out
off?
at like
Yeah.
10:30, 11.
Oh, it was 11 the other time.